All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Fish and Grits Sports Live. Fish and Grits Live. We're still working on that. We're going through a little bit of changes here, and bear with us on how we figure out our branding here. Today is Tuesday, July 13th, 2021. As always, I am Ryan, blessed to be with you, and my two wonderful co-hosts here. Marco, how are you doing today as the NBA Finals take a little bit of a break?
I'm good.
You're good? What'd you think of, just real quick, are you happy with the series so far?
Hey, man, we got to save this content for
just yes or no. Yes or no. You happy?
Of course I'm happy.
Cool. Mike, today is your day. You are the all-star of the show today, sir. This is a show about you, even though you look like Two-Face right now with your half red, half green, blue face, looking like Mr. Two-Face over there. How you been, man?
Man, it's been interesting.
Been interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Everything good?
Highs and lows, brother. As a Braves fan, it's some highs and lows, bro.
Man, that one hurt. But
Mm-hmm.
we'll get into that, and we'll cry on air for y'all a little bit later here as we talk some baseball.
More like lows and lows. This
A low, and then a even lower low. There is no up.
dips and crevices.
Marco, actually, you're a little too tall for the frame right now. We're getting about this much of you.
I was trying a new camera angle.
Yeah, there we go. There's the Marco we all know and love.
He was trying not to get height shamed by Aisha again.
I'm actually really big.
Ain't nobody worried about what I used to talking about. Hey, Micah, this is a good time to plug whatever you got going on in your other podcast. I just remembered it because I have it pulled up right here. I haven't listened yet, but I intended to.
Oh yeah, so I've joined another friend on the podcast. Kind of help us get more exposure, and you know it's actually good talking. It's a rap with Nina and Micah, so we just talk about other shit that we don't normally, not just sports related, just shit that we don't normally talk about on here. So just topics like we talked about narcissists the other day.
And who is Nina?
Just a friend of mine I met through Twitter, and we just talked and just realized, like, had good conversation. Decided we wanted to do some stuff on the side. Just take some of those conversations to the side. So
Nice.
So just a cool chick and a cool guy having some cool conversations.
Pretty much.
Where can they find you?
Find same places here. Spotify. I don't know if she uploaded on YouTube, but Spotify, Apple Podcasts, same thing. Said episodes aren't real long; they're about 30 minutes or so. So yeah, it's not too long for that.
This is where you come and talk for literally hours. It's quick and decisive to the point.
Yeah.
Hey man, I'm looking forward to this Space Jam. I'm almost wondering, should we watch it first and then react, or should we react fresh?
I feel like it should be fresh. We should be watching it at that moment. So we'll set it up.
Are we gonna need to pause and comment every now and then? Because
yeah.
What the hell? What the hell did I just see?
Porky Pig's freestyle. I think that's gonna cause some serious cringe amongst the ranks.
Bruh, this, from what I've heard, this whole movie might be cringe.
God. I don't know what to think about it, but yeah, my instincts are telling me it's gonna suck. It's gonna be awful. Like, I hope not. I hope they don't ruin a childhood memory, like that summer of 5th grade or 4th. Pretty sure it's 5th.
Something like that, yeah.
5th grade, and man, it was the summer of I Believe I Can Fly, which no one can like anymore. And then Space Jam, like that's a golden memory ingrained into my childhood.
That's a good point though that you bring up there. It's gonna be because the movie obviously was good, but a huge part of the movie was the soundtrack. And
man, I'm telling you,
there's no way they can even come close to that soundtrack again. Like have such a keystone song as I Believe I Can Fly.
The only reason I know who the Quad City DJs are is because of Space Jam.
Yeah.
And the fact that I can actually, like, you know, like, hey, Cruz, and I tag them in a video and they comment on it. It's like, wow, that's crazy.
Right. Even like, Seals Fly Like an Eagle was it?
Yeah.
Was that in that?
Yes, yeah. That was in that one too.
Wow.
Bruh. Like, who did
I forgot about that.
When he came into the gym for the first time.
They can get Lil Baby. They can get Lil Baby and the Baby. And Lil Uzi Vert.
He's talking about T-Pain's outburst.
Do something new.
Do something different.
Yeah, if y'all have not seen that, go watch the clip of T-Pain reacting to essentially just modern day rap. It's really quick. I think it was from his podcast, right? Or his live stream?
Yeah, his Twitch live stream.
Yeah, go watch that. It's hilarious. And if y'all don't watch his live stream, it's hilarious. And he's a pretty good gamer too. quick announcement. We just opened up our Discord server yesterday, and we've invited a whole bunch of the people that we know and we love to talk sports about. The goal behind this is to give us a space to where we can talk sports with everyone that we like to talk about sports with. Because, I mean, in all three of our lives, that's one of the biggest things that we all talk about. I have like 5 or 6 different group texts. I have people that I talk to on Instagram and people that I talk to on Facebook exclusively about it. And, you know, they're just all over. And, like, we all have good conversations, and it's about different things and so on and so forth. And I thought, you know, like, why should I talk to all of y'all in different ways? And when I can bring y'all all into one place and bring the Fish and Grits people into the same place and just talk sports, you know, give us that medium to where you have a community of people that like sports just as much as you do and are just as informed as you are. Because I like to say that, you know, we're on the more informed side of fans in Atlanta, and it's going to sound kind of pompous, kind of, you know, arrogant, but it's the truth, because I know each and one of you, every one of y'all that have listened to us or watched our show in some capacity have, you know, liked what we said, because it's not just uninformed opinion about a player that, you know, we have no idea who they are or what they do. You know, we reach out to the players. We like to get to know them. We like to know what they do. We like to be informed about the teams that we watch. So that's what I'm trying to build here with this, is that ability for everybody to come there and have informed opinions about sports and talk about sports together. And also just a way for us to get to know everybody as well. So I will be posting the invite to the Discord in the chat here in a second, and then also it'll be in the description of this video. But yeah, come and talk sports with us, or don't, you know, engage however you like. But if you really want to get to the nitty-gritty of it and talk sports, join us there. It's free.
I was very confused about all that Discord stuff. I was like, what is this Discord?
Yeah, no.
It's the best way you can describe Discord is, if for the old heads out there, it's like IRC. It's an internet relay chat. It allows you to put channels together and break them up into separate areas. So like we have like an NFL section, an MLB section, an NBA, and we'll post news and stuff like that. Then we at the bottom, if you haven't noticed, for those of you in there, we have Atlanta, Chicago, Baltimore, and Carolina from future moves that we will be making as a brand here fairly shortly. So it's going to get, you know, we're trying to grow it and trying to get it big and trying to be a reputable source for your sports team's news. So, you know, where else can you hear interviews? First with Foye Oluwakin before he did his rounds and people bit our style. But you know,
we was the first ones to do the interview with Foye. Stop playing with us.
Most of y'all didn't even know who he was. You couldn't even say his last name. I've seen your tape.
Who was it? We even had guests come on here and downplay his talent and his skill.
Yeah.
Some of the you know, premier Atlanta sports media members.
It's like, oh, we can find Foyers anywhere. It's like,
literally,
what?
you can find a Foye in just about any draft. It's like
any grocery store in America. It's like, damn, that's a hot take.
I mean, literally, if we really wanted to piss Foye off, we should clip that and be like, yo, and then have us defend him.
Right.
Like, we told you. We told you when he makes the Pro Bowl in about a year or two. We told you. But yeah, enough of that. Enough of us pumping our chests up and all that fun stuff. But it's what we like to do. You know what? I know this is a festive week for your sport, Micah, but let's start it off with a little bounce pass over here to Marco.
It is time for the layup, a.k.a. the finger roll, a.k.a. jelly time, a.k.a. points in the paint. I was looking at this episode title. I'm like, damn, this is going to misdirect anybody who cares about basketball. Be like, nobody cares about the MLB All Star game, but it's all good. It's temporary. It's just temporary. But
Are you jealous,
anyway,
Marco?
a little jealous, man, just because, you know.
You're not the headliner this time? You're a little jealous? It's Micah's show, baby.
You put three baseball topics. I'm like, damn, people are gonna think this is the baseball show. Nobody's coming in here.
Look, Taylor wants to watch this show.
Josh says, okay, there's somebody. Joshua Bennett wants to know about the Braves. We'll get to that, Joshua. But for now, we'll talk about some basketball. So something that, anybody who's a Patriot, all of our baseball fans, most of y'all are Patriots, so you should be able to jive with this first topic here. So, on Saturday, while we were out foaling, we got the news.
Marco, what is foaling?
Foaling is a very competitive game where instead of you have bowling balls, you have footballs and you throw them at pins, and it's very fun actually. It makes you sweat, especially one-on-one play.
When they're an hour long of just throwing the football aggressively at each other, essentially.
I got really good towards the end, but so anyway, so Nigeria, they were able to take down Team USA. I believe it was like 91-87 or something like that, or it might have been 90-87. And then Team Australia was able to also take down Team USA yesterday. Mind you, both of these are exhibition games, so they don't officially count on any record, but history does not turn a blind eye to such events. And the commentators during the events were pretty much acting like this was like when the USA beat Russia in hockey. It's like they were trying to flip it like that. That was the same thing. But
we lost to Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons
didn't even play.
He was not on the team, which is probably why they beat us.
Thibault and Patty Mills was running the show for him, and then
Joe Ingles started off with like 2 3-pointers.
Third best white guy in the NBA.
You're pushing it. You're pushing it. I'll take Grayson Allen before Ingles.
No. Did you not watch Ingles this season, bro?
He
was out there dropping some of the most awkward dimes.
2 years ago, I'd be like, yeah. Now he's getting older and older.
No, man. I'm telling you, you need to look at his usage, look at his actual usage percentages, and
I'm just gonna look at sheer stats.
Yeah,
hold on real quick.
Stats don't lie, but they don't always tell the whole story.
12, 3, and 4, 48, 45%, 84. I mean, that's very solid numbers, especially for how old is this man?
He's like 30.
He is 33 in 284 days.
So he's almost 34.
Yeah, that's an old dude. Him and Patty Mills old as hell.
Patty Mills is pretty old.
Patty Mills close to 40 now. He's got to be close to 40.
Yeah, they don't age. It's like something about Australia. These dudes don't age. So
is he that old? No, he's like early 30s. Yeah, he's 32.
Who, right, Patty Mills?
Yeah.
That's old for basketball age.
I mean, yeah, you're right. It is.
Patty Mills was playing in like 2010.
That's what I'm saying.
He was on like the Spurs in like 2010.
Yeah, he was like a backup.
Yeah.
Right? Let's see stats. When did he come into the league? 09, 10.
Yeah.
He didn't get at the Spurs though until 2011.
I wonder what he
was. Okay.
So just the obviously the world stage is changing. I mean, a lot of these teams are filled with NBA guys. Like you said, Ben Simmons wasn't even there, and they were still like 5 deep in NBA guys, like talented starters, not just like some dudes you never see. The Nigeria team had about 6 or 7 NBA players on that squad.
Precious
Achua. The other dude from Miami, I forget his name.
Yeah,
he goes by Gabe Vincent.
Oh God, Stephen A. Smith doesn't like him.
Yeah, he wouldn't pronounce his name.
His name is Gabe, but he goes by Vince. What is he?
That'd be so.
That's
cool
so weird. It's like, calm down, Stephen A.
That'd be so awesome. Like if I played for a Nigeria team, I could bring out the Nzerabi name just because.
Marco Nzerabi.
Right, because he doesn't go by the name that he put on his jersey, but he still used it.
Right.
And then they have the tall dude from Sacramento who's blocking everybody's shots.
But
anyway,
Precious, I thought.
No, it wasn't
Precious on
Miami.
Precious blocked KD though. Yeah.
Is Memu or some shit like that. Sorry. I'm turning into Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah,
I can't pronounce his name.
These damn Nigerian names.
I can't pronounce his name. So anyway, the step back threes from the 3-point line just don't seem as scary when the other team is physically dominating and able to hit just as many threes as you, but in an offensive set, not just like, taking crazy hard shots. So I want to know, have the rules of the NBA sort of, I don't want to say it's made them soft, because, a lot of people take exception to that and get real offended when you start calling people soft. It's like, oh, they work hard. They work just as hard as anybody else. Okay. But at the end of the day, have these rules sort of disadvantaged the NBA on a world stage? Because you can even point to Luka, who was like, it's actually harder to score in the European leagues than it is in the NBA. And we were all just thinking, oh, well, maybe he's just saying that. But now you see it. It looks like it's true. They play more physical ball over there in FIBA. So what is y'all's take on, what's sort of going on here and the implications, or why do you think, because they were even bringing up in the press conference, like Pop was getting real frustrated, but they were like, in these games, your average margin of victory is usually 30 points. So I don't want to hear anything about how, and he was getting real upset about it, but it's like, this is definitely a changing of the tide. So I want to hear y'all's opinions on what's happened.
Do you want the hot take first, or do you want
hot takes sell biscuits?
You want the hot takes?
Hot takes.
You gonna steal my hot take?
Let's maybe not. We might be in the same ballpark. But yes, the rules have hurt them a little bit. The whole soft stuff definitely has hurt them. That's why the NBA is looking into changing rules this season. They've taken notice that fans are not happy with how many times the whistle is being blown in the NBA for ticky-tack fouls. But there's a problem that lies with this team, and it's not because 3 of their best players are still actively playing in the NBA Finals, which that is, it's not good for the team, because 2 of those players are really, really, really good.
Which ones?
Drew and Book, even though Drew's kind of taken an off day or 2 here in the finals.
One of those players are really, really good. I'll come back. I'll let you finish.
But Drew can also affect the game when he's not shooting well up here. Drew's a very smart player. The biggest problem, though, is Pop is overrated as a coach. Greg Popovich is not, he's a good coach. Don't get me wrong. And if you put the right guys in his system, he's gonna win championships with them. But he needs a specific type of player to buy into his system. And if you notice, not a lot of superstars, even though they played with them in the Olympics before and played with them in all these places, they don't go to the Spurs. Mm-hmm. They don't want to go to the Spurs. Kawhi left the Spurs. Superstars are not for Pop's system. Pop's system is for, even though Tim Duncan, without a shadow of a doubt, was a superstar. Tony Parker was an all-star. Manu Ginobili was an all-star, mostly because of the system. But all-stars that play like they do today don't work in Popovich's system. And he's just not as good as we once thought he was, in my opinion. I know some of you are going to try and fillet me for this, and you're going to try and crucify me and be like, you don't think Popovich is a good coach? Didn't say that. I said he's overrated. And he can't do what he used to unless he changes a little bit, like we saw Nate McMillan do this last postseason, and start to make some changes that he's not really used to, and start coaching players maybe he doesn't want to coach, or coach a different way. But yeah, there's another big problem on this team, and I think Micah's going to follow me up on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Micah?
First and foremost, anywhere Lloyd Pierce goes, losses come following. They run.
They come flowing.
L's. You
anyone hear that babbling brook? Oh, that's Lloyd Pierce. It's weird. I don't quite get it yet, but I hear water whenever he walks by.
It's just you're flooded with losses wherever Lloyd Pierce goes. Now, granted, I don't know if I won't say Pop is quite overrated, but I do think he's more of an older style system. He's kind of outdated, and he hasn't adjusted his game for the current times. And um, I think teams have, like, you can easily see how he attacks teams and so on and so forth. He hadn't kind of updated the game plan. And it's not, his scheme is not as complex, is not quite as complex as like the triangle, where the triangle can evolve, and it can, mold to whatever you're doing and adjust to whatever you're doing. Now, I will say another problem I noticed is I don't see any true, like, distributors.
Mm-hmm. I
Like,
agree.
Draymond is about the only real distributor. Everybody else is kind of an ISO, ISO type score type. And I mean, that's fine, but unless you're putting up like 160, 180 a game and just absolutely mollywopping everybody you play, if you're not shooting well, you're pretty much screwed. Because I mean, now granted, there are a couple guys, the guys who are the more rounded players, who aren't just more so scorers. A lot of them just don't provide much on the offensive end either. Like Draymond is,
He had at 1 point last night.
yeah. Oh God, Draymond is washed at this point. Um, Kevin Love, it's just like, why is he on this team?
He didn't even play.
And so it's a very flawed build for an American team, and it's just because of all the big names, we just assume that we're just going to destroy everybody. But I don't think they built this team with any kind of balance in mind. Like, oh well, this guy's good offensively, but he's an elite defender. This guy is a great offensive player. He's not quite as good defensively, but he can. And there was no balance in mind. It was just like, let's just get a bunch of big names and throw them on the team. And it's like that AAU built team, where it's just like a bunch of elite guys, but they don't necessarily complement each other and play well as a team. And we've struggled the past couple of games. And we've seen how it's caused us to struggle the past couple of games.
I think that's where we're really missing Drew, though. That you don't have a true, like, point guard right now.
Mm-hmm.
You got Kemba Walker.
You made a great point there, Micah, about the lack of a distributor. Like, which also makes me sort of wonder. Is like, I wish they would release the list of all the people who said no, because when you start seeing people like Darius Garland out there, you're like, who the hell invited this guy? It's like, he wasn't even the best point guard on his own team. like how's Colin Sexton not there over Darius Garland?
But Colin Sexton just averaged 25 points per game.
Yeah.
And didn't get invited. It's like,
but then it's like,
or no Trey either.
Maybe he did.
Trey.
Like, that's why I wonder. It's like, how did they not invite LaMelo, Lonzo?
What's the
Trey?
What's the guy from the Kings?
De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron Fox, yeah.
Like, how did he? Like, so I'm wondering if a lot of these guys maybe turned it down. Trey, for instance, I'm sure he turned it down because, I mean, he's coming off an injury.
Plus the playoff run.
I think Danilo Gallinari is still going over there to play with his squad. So I think it's more so his injury, or maybe players just don't. I don't know. I'd be curious to see everybody who turned it down, because you're completely right about the fact that there's not a single distributor on this team, and you have a face that you just came across something, Ryan.
Did. I don't know if you're about to talk about it. Are you going to talk about Trey at all?
No.
You want to hear about how Trae Young took a shot at Lloyd Pierce after the loss?
Oh, see that when I was watching the game, I was thinking, after I seen Lloyd Pierce's face, I was like, maybe this is the reason there's no John Collins or no Trae Young, because they're like, F that dude. But go ahead. What did he say?
So he, right after the loss happened, he gave the emoji followed by the blank face emoji. And for those of y'all that don't really speak emoji well, the no mouth emoji is not It's like I'm gonna just keep it to myself.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it. I want to say it.
Don't say.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna say it because I'm better than that. But I told you that's the emoji.
Right.
What it
Which
really
was
means.
We're not afraid to say it though.
right. In that same thought, I was also looking. I saw KD out there playing with Draymond. And I'm like, wait, this is not gonna end well.
No. You can't put them on the court at the same time.
Right. I was like, I wonder if they're talking at all. Do they communicate? But anyway, back to just like the softness thing. It's like it's hilarious seeing some of these dudes, like especially like Zach LaVine. See, because what you got to understand is that despite the fact that all these dudes are playing more aggressive defense on us and throwing our offensive game completely off, like Kevin Durant has been garbage in these 2 games, like because he's so used to not being touched. He's not used to Pat Beverly doing that playoff stuff all season long. But the thing is, like, they should be able to know that they're allowed to play defense aggressively too. But it's hilarious seeing like Zach LaVine or Bradley Beal try to D somebody up aggressively. It's like, when was the last time y'all dudes played defense?
Y'all know what defense is?
Like,
that's why
Damian Lillard trying to play defense. We see him trying to play defense in the regular season. Portland makes me throw up when I watch their games.
Man, like people don't understand that's what made Kobe such a beast in the Olympics, because he can play defense. He will lock somebody up. Like
he takes it personally.
Well,
exactly.
I mean, but I think that was also more of an old school type of thing where players took pride in playing defense. Now it's all offense in the NBA.
And people like Pat Beverly are an anomaly in the NBA.
Yeah,
now.
and
right.
people don't like Pat Bev because he's such a tryhard.
Yeah.
And it's like, bruh, no, I mean, and not to mention because the rules have changed so much, now it's really no purpose to play physical because you get whistled a lot. I mean, like look at what's it called? Even in Philly series. Now, granted, the refs did let the whistles go a little bit in the Hawks series versus Philly, but how many of those weak tic-tac fouls did Joel Embiid draw just by falling to the ground?
So many.
And it was like, bruh, nobody really touched you. You just fell and you keep falling.
We're just ripping through and throwing the ball. Like
exactly.
If you do that in the Olympics, it's out of bounds. they're not
yeah. And that's the thing. It's now granted, it's like the most physical. Essentially, the Olympics are being refed like the most physical form of playoff basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like we're gonna let these guys. We're not just gonna call every foul. Now, granted, and then a lot of the other stuff that players get away with, the traveling and stuff like that, they're gonna call that.
Right.
You can't do the Harden.
Pitter pat,
double jump back,
the Jason Tatum hopscotch steps.
The old school, like that old school Street Fighter double jump thing. You can't do that on the court.
Yeah, man, it's disheartening. Just seeing how out of sorts they look because, like you said, and then just real quick on Greg Popovich's style of coaching, like we sort of see it though with like some of the teams that get extremely criticized are all his disciples, like the Utah team where they're like, damn, why do they keep on shooting threes? Why are they not adjusting? They should easily beat this Clippers team, or the Bucks team who we're going to get into this now, but we're finally seeing Giannis play in a way that makes sense for his style, as opposed to catching the ball at the top of the key, taking a step back and skipping down to the post. It's like, bud, what are you doing? But it makes sense because Greg Popovich's coaching style is what they all live and die by. And it just doesn't relate to, like, it doesn't adapt and evolve to talent. It's like Tim Duncan made that system work. You know what I mean? Because he was such a versatile basketball player.
I mean, shit.
But
you had Tim Duncan and David Robinson at the same time.
David Robinson, right, who's one of the greatest off-ball defenders in history. So yeah, what do y'all think? So just what's y'all's prediction for Golding or for medaling? How are they gonna medal? What do you want to say, Ryan, before you get to that?
We'll answer your question first because those are good. I think we'll still take gold. I think once the roster's full, it's just gonna be too much talent, too many superstars. Like in an arena like that, you're talking about the best competition you're going to run up against is like Australia or Argentina.
Nigeria, bro.
Nigeria is a good team. Don't get me wrong.
Without Jalil Okafor, wasn't even on the court, and
and Jalil's been balling out too. And
Yeah.
in our Argentina game, he had like 15 and 10, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I mentioned bringing Jalil Okafor, and Marco snubbed his note. Ugh, Jalil Okafor. Ugh.
Well, that's a defensive thing.
Yeah.
His mind just doesn't work correctly.
Defense. That man is allergic to defense in the post.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they'll still take gold.
Oh man. Honestly, I think gold, but I could easily see us getting like silver or bronze, just because I could see us kind of like this team kind of being nonchalant and being like, oh yeah, we can beat anybody, we can play with anybody, and then getting into a game, like say they get to the gold medal game and they just can't flip the switch and can't turn it on, and they're a little off. I mean, I could see that happening. So, like I said, I think gold, but I could easily see us,
it'd be funny if they don't get gold. This is the kind of team where I could see them being like, it seems like y'all want us to lose. It's like, no, y'all are just trash. It seems like everybody being negative and want us to lose. Like, I feel like that's the kind of thing KD would say.
Yeah,
this team's just missing Kyrie. That's all it's missing.
God, Kyrie on this team would how many people would be so upset if you put Kyrie on Team USA after the comments that he's the truthful comments, but that certain groups of people will disagree with vehemently.
I mean, KD's silence means he co-signed whatever Kyrie says, and he's there. So
the world is flat.
Right,
it's flat.
How you traveling to Japan when you think the world is flat?
You go around and then under.
That was the funniest video I've seen, where somebody was like, so just stand outside and watch the plane fly away from Australia. Is it going north or is it going south? Oh
yeah, how do they think cardinal directions work? Like, what? I don't. Okay, never mind.
They think people have to fly around the whole entire planet just to get to one location. No one flies over Antarctica. It's like, that's not true, right? Anyway,
they did this a long time ago.
Right. What were you about to say, Ryan, before I asked the middle question?
So, a little more context on the Trae Young and Lloyd Pierce situation. So, I had it up. There it is. So, Sarah K. Spencer, who's a reporter, asked Lloyd Pierce if he was if it was hard to see Trae Young not make Team USA. And so let me bring this front and center. So
he didn't deserve it.
His answer was no, because honestly, I respect the league. I respect the levels and layers you have to go through. Trae's having a great year. These guys have had great careers, and you have to go through certain things, and you have to understand when it's your time, when it's your opportunity. He's a first-time All-Star. We're talking about guys 3-time Olympic appearances. And international basketball is different. It's different. You just don't go because you're good. You go because you've earned the right, the honor. You have to have the right mindset. You have to give up 45 days of your summer to commit to your country, and it's not easy. And the guys that are on that list, Harrison Barnes, Mason Plumlee, those guys have done it. They've committed to it, and that's a big part of the process. Being able to commit.
Last year when he was still the coach, right?
Yes,
this has
you're
to
right.
be from when he was still coaching.
Yeah. Oh, right. Being able to commit and willing to do it just as we coaches have done. So that was.
He's such a dickhead. Like, why would you never stand up for your guys? Like, he never deserves another shot at head coach ever. Like, he is such a dickhead. Like, honestly. I would tell that to his face. Like, what kind of guy, like, of course you're supposed to be like, the right answer is, yeah, I would have loved to see him here. But it just didn't shake out like that. He'll have opportunities in the future. It's like, no, he didn't deserve it. Nope.
Yeah. Nope. No, I'm not shocked. Not at all.
What a dickhead.
Bro, even if I know that like one of y'all don't deserve it, I'm like, yeah, man, I'm outraged.
Right.
Like,
No. But this is the same guy who's like standing on the sideline like, Trey, you are horrible. You are so horrible, Trey.
Right, he's
Why
going
do you
over
suck so much?
He's standing next to Steve Nash. Is like, yeah, man, I hate this kid. Hate that kid. I hate when he does that. Like, bro, why are you
I
talking?
can't stand his style of basketball. Just shooting long threes.
Right, getting on conference calls just to talk shit about Trey. It's like, did you see that shit? Did you see how he played last night?
Like, man,
I hate this kid. It's like, didn't you win?
I can't stand his hair, his goofy little shot.
And he crossed me over in practice. My wife was watching.
My ankle still hurts when he crossed me over, man. My wife won't make love to me after.
He's not supposed to do that to a coach. You're just not supposed to do that. But
So Trey Young Team USA is trending on Twitter right now too.
That's
oh
funny,
boy.
though. Because they got people like Jeremy Grant, Darius Garland.
Man.
One fool out there, I didn't even know who he was. Like, I forget. He's like a forward, like a small forward. I couldn't even tell you who he was. He's out there.
Chet, what's his name?
Who?
Didn't they ask that guy Chet, that one like high school player or whatever, to play?
Hold on, I'm gonna see who it is.
Chet Holmgren or something like that.
Because I was like, who is this guy? I kept seeing him out there. It's like, how's he getting minutes before Kevin Love's? Like, Kevin Love, you must really be trash.
They've got Bam Adebayo, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Jeremy Grant, Draymond Green, Drew Holiday, Zach LaVine, Damian Lillard, Kevin Love, Chris Middleton, and Jason Tatum.
Wait, that's it? There was someone else out there who was. I was like, who the hell is this guy? Hold on. Because you didn't say. Did you say Zach LaVine?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they must have. I don't know. There's some. I'll find him next time I see him. I'll show you. But
They might be filling in for a while.
Yeah, he must have been a fill-in for one of these three guys who aren't here yet, or Kevin Love's corpse. Like, I don't know why the hell they invited Kevin Love. Anyway, moving on. Unless y'all have anything else to say about this.
No.
No.
Fuck
Lloyd
Pierce.
Pierce.
You got
Lloyd
what you
Pierce
deserve.
sucks.
Yeah, Lloyd Pierce.
No, he didn't get what he deserved because he keeps getting opportunities.
Yeah,
Oh,
he should be out of the league. Like, he should be still relegated to high school level. It's like
If Mark Jackson gets blackballed from coaching and is now relegated to the analyst booth, what's his name needs to be doing just a podcast. That should be the highlight of the rest of your life, is a podcast about why you suck at coaching basketball.
It's funny though. I used to think that Mark Jackson got blackballed because of his gay beliefs, but now I'm thinking I saw some clip where he was like, they were talking about Savannah's wife or LeBron's wife Savannah, and he was like, "Oh man, I'd knock it out the park." I was like, bro. He said, "With all due respect, I'd knock it out the park." It's like, you're not working again in this league, bro. You don't talk about LeBron's wife like that. What's wrong with you?
Oh, they let Chet Holmgren out there? That's what y'all talking about?
Mm-hmm.
The tall 7-foot white guy?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what.
I've been following Chet. Damn, I didn't even catch one of y'all say that. Did one of y'all say that?
Yeah, I said it.
Okay, so yeah.
I've been following him on Instagram forever.
Oh, wait, hold on. I have to look at the box score, because also Darius Garland was there, but he's not on the official roster either.
Yeah, they typically let one like college player play with Team USA.
Darius Garland's not college player.
Chet Holmgren actually just committed to Gonzaga. He was the number one center prospect in the country.
Because that was like when Christian Laettner, like that one Olympics day.
I think that was the last time they ever did that.
No, they brought they'll typically bring the two best college basketball players that are going into the draft if it comes around the same time or just came out of the draft.
But I can't remember the last time that happened.
It happened last time. It was I'll look it up. I can't remember who it is right now, but I'll look it up and I'll get you the names.
Hold on. This Team USA site sucks so bad.
Boy, you thought baseball coverage was bad? Finding anything about Team USA basketball and in the organized fashion how you're used to finding rosters? Good luck.
Because apparently they just blew out Team Argentina today.
It's like, here's a sonnet about basketball in the roster. You're like, what is this? Like,
right, where's the stats?
why can't I? Where's the depth chart? Like, Who's on the team?
This is excruciating. Let's see what. Oh my God, I'm just trying to figure this out. I at least want to see what happened in this game today. Like, how do I even find this? I can't even find it on ESPN.
Twitter's gonna be your best bet.
That's bad when Twitter is the best, the most reliable resource for stuff like that.
All right.
Oh,
let's see,
man.
let's see Olympic schedule, and let's see games. That's just the groups. Where's the? Okay, Nigeria. Okay, let's click this one, and then let's. Oh my God, and it's opening up freaking PDFs. Like it's not even in sight. This is ridiculous. The player I was talking about was Keldon Johnson. My bad.
Keldon. Name sounds familiar.
Here's a PowerPoint on no roster.
Right. He plays for the Spurs, so I guess that's why he was there. Yeah. So Jeremy Grant, Darius Garland, and Keldon Johnson are all the three subs for, I guess, Booker, Middleton, and Drew. And then let's see what happened today. Argentina. God damn it, man. This is frustrating. They don't even have the box score posted yet.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. How much did we beat? But, yeah, Argentina looked really bad. I saw them getting waxed by Nigeria. They look terrible.
Their best player is like in his 40s now.
So
good old Manu.
No, I'm sorry, 23. They lost by 23.
Okay. Do you see some stats anywhere?
For Argentina versus Nigeria?
No. For Argentina versus U.S.
I can't find anything.
Okay, here we got. Okay, our U.S. basketball defeated Argentina 108-80. Kevin Durant had 17, Beal 17, Zach LaVine 15, Dame 13, Bam 12 and 5. So yeah, they took care of them. But yeah, they look terrible. So we can officially move on now. So real quick, so apparently Houston has been aggressively attempting to acquire the number 1 pick from Detroit. So where would you rather see Cade Cunningham, in Detroit or in Houston?
Real quick and sweet, Detroit. I don't care about Houston basketball. When Detroit basketball is good, it's fine.
Yeah.
Neither. Either way, it's going to be miserable for him. He's got Christian Wood to play with in Houston, but other than that, it's just like wherever he goes, it's just good luck, bro.
I'd say Detroit just because, I mean, you can pair him up with Jeremy Grant and then who's the young kid that was sort of trash, but they were hyping up.
Killian Hayes.
Killian Hayes, yeah.
Who I thought was going to be really good. He just didn't.
Right, and apparently they still believe in him because they keep on giving him minutes despite how bad he plays. But, maybe that will work out for them. And like you said, Detroit's cool. They have a winning culture. So that's cool. Moving on. So after 2 historically great games by Giannis of 40 and 10, a feat only matched by, I believe it was Shaq and LeBron, his Bucks were finally able to get a notch in the win column with mediocre performances from his supporting cast, but decent 3-point percentages. I think Drew was 5 for 10 and Middleton was 3 for 7, despite having average games. Giannis has began playing in a style unfamiliar to his familiar mode, where he's mirroring a 90s version of Hakeem Olajuwon, operating out of the post and making the game easy, something Coach Bud does not like to do. Because of this, Ayton has been getting into foul trouble, and his shooters are a lot more comfortable catching and shooting in their spots. Milwaukee also scored 22nd chance basket, Phoenix's 2, because Ayton was in foul trouble. So I want to ask y'all, why does Coach Bud insist on playing this Popovich style of basketball, despite his best players' talents not being utilized well in that system, and even leading to the fact that he's never got out the second round before this year, despite being the best team in the league for like the last 3 years? It's like, what's up with Coach Bud, and why are we just now seeing Giannis play like he should?
I think a lot of it has to do with just that Popovich style. Now the Popovich style was always predicated on defense. It was predicated around defense first, defensive adjustments, slowing down your opponent, playing physical, and making
unselfish offense.
Yeah, and making, but you wanted your opponent to work harder on the offensive end, and then, like you said, unselfish offense on the offensive end. Well, it wasn't any more complicated than that. It was just move the ball and get good shots on the offensive end. But on the defensive end, it was, like I said, the game, like, they won games on defense. If we can hold you under 90, we feel like we can win. And that's why the Spurs in those 5 championships were some of the lowest rated finals of all time, because it was low scoring, like these boring physical matchups, and you, like, they might win 86-83. So, like, every game. So it's just that Bud puts all his emphasis on defense, and offensively he's never made adjustments. That's part of the reason why I've never really trusted a Coach Bud coach team. Now Giannis finally going down to the post and stop trying to be a point guard is huge, because he's such a nightmare to guard around the rim, and he's a good passer too. So it's like, meanwhile, when you're dribbling the ball and like lowering your shoulder like a running back, you put yourself in positions to get in foul trouble and stuff like that. So you get offensive charges and stuff like that. So I just think Giannis adjusting his game is going to help big. Now, granted, they still need guys like Drew and Chris Middleton, old oblong shaped head ass.
Chris mid-grade.
And like PJ Tucker and Brook Lopez. They need them to knock down shots when they get open looks. But him in that paint is going to cause a lot of problems. Like you said, he's getting Ayton in foul trouble, and Ayton is a huge factor in as far as Phoenix winning, because they don't really. Dario Saric is not close. He's hurt. But yeah, I forgot about that. But like they don't really have who's the alternative if Ayton gets in foul trouble. Who's the alternative?
Jay Crowder probably. Yeah.
Well, no, Saric is now hurt, so
I'm just talking about
Kaminsky.
Kaminsky, that's right.
Yeah. Frank Kaminsky is not crashing the boards, and
he's a stretch big.
Yeah, and stuff like that. So he's not protecting the rim. So yeah, he'll occasionally knock down some shots, but he's not dominating the boards like Ayton was. So yeah, you lose a lot if Giannis is less aggressive as far as attacking at the 3-point line, but just like playing down more in the post.
What was the question?
Just like, why did it take so long for Giannis to start playing how he should?
Well, I have to see it more than once to believe that's what he's going to do. Because Giannis,
he did 2 games in a row.
Yeah. Wait. He did the second half of the game 3, didn't he?
Well, his stats were as impressive, but his play style was more impressive in game 3. That's...
Yeah. All right. When you're up against it, that's when you will typically make the changes that you've been, forced or you didn't want to make, even though you've heard people say, "Oh, you should do this, you should do that." Like, well, no, I'm still doing well doing this. But then you're like, "Oh, I'm about to fall in this hole over here. Let me actually change that." Because going down 0-2, that's no joke, especially when it's the NBA Finals. Like, you throw everything out. You're like, "All right, I'm going to try something different." I think that's a big reason, especially for Coach Bud. This is his first finals. Maybe that's what it will take for him to become a coach who will adjust. And Giannis,
it's an awful lot,
right? We've seen it though. We've seen it, but there's no guarantee that Coach Bud is going to say, "I'm going to have to start doing that all the time." He may be one of those people that are like, "Well, that was just a special circumstance, and they were just doing some things well."
Back to the offense,
right? And that's why and really what I'll have to say is that's why I said that about Giannis is let me see it more than once, but really let me just say it more than the series. Because if he can do this next season, he puts on 5-10 pounds, unstoppable down there. Unstoppable. The man's just so long and athletic, and his spring, and he's quick, and like you don't need him to be Embiid big, but you could use him down there kind of like you did, like a Dwight Howard almost.
I'm just saying Hakeem, man. He's really nothing like Dwight, but
yeah, I know. That's why I was trying to think of just like a stature though, and like a athletic ability.
Yeah, if he was gonna play like Hakeem, I wouldn't want him to put weight on.
Yeah, no, you don't. He doesn't need any weight to play like Hakeem at all.
Yeah,
and maybe that's what you want him to do because I mean that was far more successful than what Dwight did.
Mm-hmm.
But
just bully people,
right?
And never work on your offensive game. I'm bigger, I'm stronger, I can jump.
Exactly. I'll just hurt you.
look at my arm.
but yeah, so like I just wonder because obviously, like you said, when you're down 0-2, then you start seeing a player really go deep inside their bag, and we're starting to see like Giannis. I feel like I blame Coach Bud for this because it's like Giannis thinks he's Magic, he thinks he's LeBron, he thinks he's all these players. He thinks he's KD sometimes pulling up from three. But I feel it's like up to Coach Bud to be like, no, bro, go down there in the post and call for the fucking ball. like make it easy, bro. You're 6'11".
You and Brook Lopez swap.
Right.
Brook Lopez can shoot.
But the problem with that is that Brook Lopez already has bought into his role. So he's never in the post. So why doesn't Giannis live in the post?
Like,
Coach Bud is a dumbass. Like, it must be because, like, just like Charles Barkley said, and I think even if Kendrick Perkins is calling you the dumbest team in basketball, you need to do some soul searching. Like, you cannot let Kendrick Perkins come at you like that. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like so. My next question for y'all is: do you think that this will change the series at all? The fact that we saw it in one game of him playing how he should. Or like you said, I mean, Ryan, you said you're trying to see more. You need to see more tape on it.
I'll have to see a little bit more before I can say it's going to guarantee it to change. Because I mean, post game is also something that you can fairly easily, live. You can counteract it. You can live with it, especially
not when you're dishing it. I mean, that's how Hakeem won his championships.
Right,
like,
and that's the thing.
Dishing the 3-point shooters.
Is if your shooters though are shooting as well with your post game, then it's over.
Yeah. Yeah, but I do think that it can be adjusted. Like there are things like they might be able to do something similar to what if Milwaukee and Giannis continue to do that, they might be able to do something similar to what we did against Philadelphia with Embiid and double. But you can double with certain guys. So wherever PJ Tucker is, use his man to double to try to trap him in the post and maybe get him into some trouble, maybe get some steals, maybe make him take some tougher shots.
But then I'll let PJ open in the corner. That's his.
Oh, okay, I can live with PJ Tucker. If PJ Tucker hits 40 in a game off of that corner three, then you might lose. I'm sorry, but the chances, the likelihood of you losing to PJ Tucker shooting threes is very slim. Also, who's another like Brook Lopez occasionally. Now Brook Lopez can hit him, but Brook Lopez is not going to hit him it's very rarely Brook Lopez is going to hit him at a 50% rate. So, you can occasionally double off him. But like I said, it's typically weak side because I can almost guarantee you Giannis is going to try to set up on the side where Chris Middleton and Drew are. So weak side, use weak side help. And, like I said, if PJ Tucker shoots the lights out, then so be it. But I'd much rather do that than let Giannis go off for 40, continue to go off for 40 plus, or go off for 30 plus and get Drew and Chris Middleton a lot of open looks at the 3 too. I'm just like I said, I'd gamble on PJ Tucker and Brook Lopez trying to be the ones to beat you.
real quick, the one thing though with Sarge going out, like the Bucks can essentially do to the Suns what they did to us to take the series back, and they just live in the paint. Put the two big guys down there, just let them go at it, because they don't have anybody. Like Jay Crowder's not going to rotate over and guard either one of those guys. They both have him by like 4 or 5 inches.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man. Like if they can do it, if they can continue to get down there and get in the paint, they could easily take them. Like I said at the beginning of the series, the Bucks are the Suns' worst nightmare as far as the matchup goes. So we'll see.
I still say Suns.
I agree. I still say this change in Giannis to me puts fire behind my Bucks in 7, so I'm sticking with that. But real quick, just in an alternate universe of our picks, or in Micah's universe, so after 2 bad games by Devin Booker, if the Suns do manage to win the title, who do you think deserves the MVP?
CP3.
Ayton.
That's the right choice, but
I'll go with CP3 too, just because. I mean, he's shooting like 60% from the field or something crazy like that. Like, I mean, he's been shooting out of this world. So moving on, a little Hawks talk, just a little brief Hawks talk. So John Collins obviously has been a big point or a big, thing that a big topic of discussion in this offseason, or this impending offseason. So 4 teams have sort of come out as the ones that are most interested in his services. And those 4 teams are the Mavs, who we already sort of knew, the Heat, the Spurs, and the Timberwolves, which also the Timberwolves, we sort of had an idea that they were interested in him. Although it may hurt to imagine, which of these situations would be best for John and us?
Micah.
If we have to do a sign and trade, I wouldn't mind Dallas and maybe get a Porzingis out of the deal. I think he could coexist a lot better with Trey than he could with Luka. I think he might embrace the change in the environment. Plus, his length does help us in certain ways. Now, granted, I mean, he's not this physical freak and snagging rebounds, but he can block some shots and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it could help us a little bit. Other than that, I mean, the only other player that I want from any of those teams is I don't even actually never mind, because I don't want Karl Anthony Towns. He's a little soft in my opinion. But
DeMar DeRozan, VR Joe Johnson.
Stop it. In the words of Stephen A. Smith, that's blasphemous. That's asinine, ass a 10, ass 11.
I'm torn on who I would want, because like Bryce asked me the other day what I thought about possibly getting Kristaps Porzingis back and John Collins sign and trade, and I'm torn on it. Like, if you can get Porzingis back in the paint and let him work down there instead of keep him out of the perimeter, then the man's his hook shot's damn near unstoppable at 7'3" in that length. He's an excellent weak side shot blocker. He's got a very good post fade game. I mean, it's exactly what we needed down in the paint against Milwaukee to stop those twin towers. So Capella wasn't down there just by himself essentially. And John, don't get me wrong, John fought. John tried his hardest down there, but John just isn't big enough. He's 6'9", 220. Like, he's going against Giannis, who's 7 foot and like 240. And Brook Lopez, who's 7 foot and 285. Like, you just can't. John couldn't do anything with that. I mean, he fought though. I'll give him that. But that's what we needed down there. So like, that's enticing. But like, Kristaps hasn't been the same. At least from the transition from New York to Dallas, and I know they're two totally different situations as far as being featured in the offense and being the number 2 to a primary ball handler like Luka, who just dominates the ball. So it's hard for someone like him to shine. And like we had mentioned a couple episodes back, when Luka's drive dies in the paint, he'll repost and go from there. And you can't live down in the paint as a big man with someone like Luka, where you can with Trey.
Yeah.
And Trey will hit you with those off-ball dimes. So, I mean, yeah, it'd be nice to get him. But then, DeMar DeRozan is not a bad basketball player at all. And we do need a guy who can also get his own buckets consistently at the 2. And DeMar DeRozan can get buckets. He can't shoot.
The mid-range.
You can't shoot beyond the three-point line.
Elbow.
He's going to shoot you about 25% from 3. But
I think he rose that up. Let
me see where he wound up this season.
Let me get this elbow jumper.
No, he's still at 25% on the nose.
The season, or is that career?
That's this last season.
Oh my God.
Yes, his career he's a 28% three-point shooter for his career.
People had the nerve to compare him to Michael Jordan. It's like Michael Jordan was never in the 20s in any percentage.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But I mean, he still got you 21 points out west last year.
But that's as the go-to guy on a team that didn't even make the playoffs.
But also in a Popovich system, you got to take that into account. So
that's another mark on Popovich. He's missed the playoffs like 2 years in a row with pretty talented teams.
2 or 3 years, I think.
Yeah, this guy.
So, no, he made it 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, they lost in the first round.
Yeah. I would. KP makes the most sense, out of what those other teams have to offer. I wouldn't be mad at Cat. I wouldn't be mad at him.
You're not going to get Cat for John Collins.
Right, that's the thing. We would have to give up John Collins and like 2
Cam
firsts.
Reddish.
They didn't even want to give us Malik Beasley for John Collins.
Right, you think they're going to give you that?
I mean, you could put together a deal with like some of our young wings, in the first. But I wouldn't be mad, but it just depends on what we have to give. No one else from the other teams. Like I don't want.
I mean, Bam, but you're not gonna get Bam.
Yeah. And plus, Bam plays too similar to Capella.
And they're in our division.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, my answer to this question is, to me, like I didn't really think of it as like a sign and trade thing. I was just thinking like, okay, what's best for him, best situation, and then also best for us in terms of not the Heat, so he's not in our freaking division or in our conference. Obviously, I don't want him playing with Luka. I don't want them seeing any success with the guy who is polar opposite or who is contrasted so starkly with Trey in terms of just their positioning. That would not be good for optics. Timberwolves, that'd just be like, you might as well just send them to hell. So it's like, I think John Collins should go to the Spurs because then, maybe obviously we're shitting on Popovich here, but whatever Tim Duncan's still hovering around that program. So if he could get some type of tips and advice from Tim Duncan, Wake Forest power forward, both that they're both military, or maybe Tim Duncan's not military, my guy. You're muted.
Oh, I accidentally muted myself. That was David Robinson, who was military.
Yeah, military.
Did Tim Duncan not have anything to do with the military?
No, he's from the Virgin Islands, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think that would be the best fit for him, and we wouldn't really have to worry about seeing him, or we wouldn't have to worry about him impacting winning in a way that would make us be like, God damn it, so. So yeah, I mean, I hope he goes to the Spurs if he doesn't stay here. That would be the best bet. Even though like there's really nothing we could sign and trade there. My scenario is that they would just sign him and we wouldn't match it. But yeah. So unless y'all have anything else to speak about round ball.
Yeah. Where'd it go? Joshua Bennett was asking in the comment sections. Why do you think the viewership is down this year in the NBA Finals? I think it was more so a commentary.
Milwaukee.
Yeah,
I mean,
Phoenix and Milwaukee.
I mean, I'll also say that I don't think we should put so much weight into ratings anymore, just because there's so many alternative sources of people watching things these days, and also interest is just divided a lot, But there at the same time, there's no LeBron, there's no Steph, there's no it's no LeBron, no Steph.
A lot of fans are fans of players and not teams. So,
and one thing a lot of people who make that comment don't take into consideration, and Marco, you kind of touched on it, is the ability to consume so many different ways. Or if you delay, like if you record it and watch it later, not a tune in. If you watch it through YouTube later with a commentary guy, not a tune in. Like if you watch it,
get it on Sports Surge.
Exactly. All those type of things that people are consuming it by are anonymous views. Like the NBA and the Nielsen rating, they don't capture that. So 9 million to watch this game, in this day and era, that's a lot because people have so many choices on things to watch. Back then, if you didn't catch it then, you missed it.
Right.
You could watch highlights on ESPN, or you could watch it on, your local news station for 30 seconds with Tom talking about basketball. And here's David Robinson with the dunk. Boy, that guy sure is tall. It's like, oh my God. Like that's what you were subjugated to if you missed it back then.
That sounds like Colin Cowherd.
Like Bob Rathbun.
God. But yeah, like that knock on the NBA nowadays, it just isn't. You got to take it with a grain of salt. A lot of people, and with football as well, a lot of people when the political era was what it was the past couple of years would use that and be like, look, people don't watch anymore. It's like, yeah, they don't watch anywhere or anymore on everything. Right. So who cares?
Right. I mean, the only ones who should genuinely care are the players, because it could affect their renegotiation whenever it comes. But I mean, they're getting paid, like they're making trillions, getting paid billions. So it's like, I don't think they're worried. Michael, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I just like you said, I think it's just a lot of it's access. It's the access to stuff is so much easier. Like some of the games, like some of those Hawks games, I could YouTube TV, I could tune in a little bit later and watch them. Like say I was running errands and couldn't get back at the start of the game. I can let me play this, and I don't want to watch I actually had to watch it live because otherwise y'all would ruin it for me in the group chat. But,
better keep up.
But yeah, nah. So, but yeah, like you said, if you got YouTube TV, you can play the game live after it happened. It would, So yeah, there are many ways, like stream it. I don't know if does radio count toward.
No, it's a separate rating scale. I mean, they have their own ratings, but it doesn't count towards the.
Yeah, I mean, but there's so many ways you can consume the product. So yeah, of course.
Local Atlanta fans, if y'all haven't listened to Conti and I always forget his name because he hates me. What's his name, Marco?
Steve Holman.
Yeah, Steve Holman. They both call an excellent game, and it's an enjoyable thing to listen to. It's much better than what you hear on TV.
Right, minus all the fluff and bullshit. It's just straight game and analysis, which is what I like.
Especially better than that ESPN crew.
Shout out Mike Conti as well. He'll be joining us. He was supposed to come on this week, but because of the season ending a different way, and everyone expected it, he will be on first week
in August.
Yeah, in August.
Okay. And one last thing about that, like also for fans who maybe put a little bit too much weight in ratings, as long as you want to watch basketball, NBA basketball, you're going to be able to. Like, it's not going anywhere. It's like...
Well, but I will say this, I do feel like there are a lot of salty LeBron fans who aren't watching basketball because LeBron's not a part of the championship now. Because I mean, he's been shitting on the playoffs ever since got eliminated, and coming up with every excuse as to why there needs to be an asterisk next to any team who makes wins the championship name. Then when this boy Chris Paul, if Chris Paul wins, then we got one more mission. Try to get Melo a ring, and good luck with that, bro.
But even to be fair, like going into this, I was like, when Atlanta still had a chance to get there, I was like, this will probably be the least compelling matchup, Bucks versus Suns. Mm-hmm. And even in the games, I mean, some of the first couple games weren't that close, so that could also contribute to people tuning out. Mm-hmm. And you know what I mean? It's just, it's Phoenix versus Milwaukee. I mean,
I will say that Stephen A. Smith, 1970s. Stephen A. Smith did say that he said he never cheered as hard for the Clippers and the Hawks to win Eastern Conference Finals, because he said he'd much rather be in LA and Atlanta for the finals than Phoenix and Milwaukee.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Damn, I forgot what I was going to say because Harvey just threw me off with his comment. I don't remember. Oh well. Marco.
That is it for the layup, a.k.a. the finger roll, a.k.a. jelly time, a.k.a. points in the paint.
Let's get ready to take a break here, do some things, and then we're going to come back with some baseball.
With the headline story.
Yeah, with the what I said that episode was all about until we took a left turn. So yeah, we'll talk some baseball, talk about the All Star game, talk about the latest happenings with the Braves and why our season might look a bit different than what we expected a couple weeks ago. And then we'll get into some football news. So yeah, stick around. We'll be back in about 5 minutes or so. Peace.
Swish.
let's bring it back from the break. Appreciate y'all hanging out so long. We were talking about some things, and I was working on something for the second half. But Micah, it is your time to shine, sir.
You know what that means? It's time for the Suicide Squeeze, the baseball segment, brought to you by Gillette Razor.
Not a sponsor. Not a sponsor.
They don't take too kindly to fake sponsorships.
Oh man! So it's currently the All Star game. Tonight is this All Star period. Because the baseball doesn't believe that they should do their All Star Weekend on a actual weekend. So so as of right now, what's the score?
It is 2-0 AL. Up.
Yeah, 2-0 American League.
The top of the fourth.
Top of the fourth. Okay, cool. So looks like it's going to be a fairly good game. But the Mets star, big things that happened this weekend. The Mets star Pete Alonso won the home run derby for the second time in a row. Congrats, sir, and I hope you have a slump for the rest of the season. So there were other several surprises that happened in a very exciting home run derby that took place. So the favorite to win, Shohei Ohtani, was upset in the first round by the Nationals outfielder Juan Soto. And yes, I did say Nationals on purpose because fuck them.
That's how we say.
So the Orioles star Trey Mancini edged out the Oakland A's star Matt Olson in a very competitive round in a 24-23 round. It was ridiculous, and it came down to Matt Olson hit a monster shot that just went foul, and that made the difference in the round. Also, Trevor Story set a home run derby record with a 518-foot blast, which surpassed Aaron Judge's shot in 20.
He crushed that ball.
Yeah. It surpassed Aaron Judge's 513-foot blast that he hit in 2017, I believe. So, man, the home run derby was exciting, and honestly, it might be the one thing it might be the one event, like skills event, out of all of the professional sports, the big sports, that's still compelling to watch. Because NBA, you have the dunk contest.
It's so fun.
3-point contest?
Yeah, but you're like, oh, look at him shoot that three. I mean, nobody gets hype about shooting threes. I mean,
I do.
It's interesting to watch. But like, especially this year, when Steph was in it, you were like, yeah, Steph's gonna win, and that's exactly what happened. Now, Mike Conley made it a lot more interesting than we thought, but yeah, everybody knew who was gonna win it. The dunk contest, it's lost its luster. It's been a while. Aaron Gordon and was that
Zach LaVine?
And Zach LaVine,
that was a good one.
Was probably the last exciting dunk contest that we've had. But that
NFL skill competition, they got what, 7-on-7s, or what do they do? Skill competition.
Nah, like I mean, they do the 40. They do a 40 competition. Quarterbacks can throw. They'll throw to see who can throw the farthest, who can hit targets, and so on and so forth. Nobody really watches the NFL skill competition.
Those are fun to watch, though. Just
well, Pro Bowl week is a week off for fans. It's just like, all right, this is bye week. It's essentially bye week because nobody cares about the Pro Bowl, because the players don't even care about the Pro Bowl. They all go half speed because nobody's trying to get hurt in a meaningless game. But yes, the home run derby is, in my opinion, the most exciting of all All-Star events. Not that aren't the game.
Do you know why? I think if you look back on what's happened to a lot of the All Star games and things like that, and how players have kind of disengaged.
Mm-hmm.
The home run derby is still like a show of brute strength.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's bragging rights. It's like true bragging rights because it's baseball is such a hard thing to do, and hitting a home run is even harder. But to do it that many times in a row in those parks that are so big,
Oh yeah,
that's crazy, man. I think that's why it still holds its value, at least to me. I could be projecting.
well, I mean, chicks dig the long ball, and there are plenty long balls hit in the home run derby. So in other MLB news.
Wait. Before we move past the home run derby and all that stuff. So what did y'all think about the Stephen A controversy? Because while he sort of shat on Nigeria and didn't get any media pushback, he did get a lot of pushback when he was basically saying Ohtani not speaking English in players, I guess the stars in the game usually not speaking English holds MLB back. He tried to come back and sort of clarify that and be like, oh, well, I didn't mean the game suffers. I just mean the coverage of the game suffers, or whatever the hell he was talking about. Do y'all agree with that having your stars in the game not speak English sort of puts a dent in the popularity potential of the sport?
I mean, slightly. I mean, in a country that speaks a predominant language, it doesn't even have to be here. Like if there was like a league that was created in like say Yugoslavia, and I'm just trying to think of like areas that have low English speaking people, and I don't think Yugoslavia is
usually the first
one.
Yes,
but yeah. I don't know. Let's just throw anyone out there that are on the chart, because I don't want to say anymore that they're like someone that comes in our channel like, actually my country, it's the second language we speak at like 65%. I'm like, my bad, I'm ignorant, I am American, sorry. Anyway, yeah, in those countries, like if there was an influx of English speaking stars, they couldn't market them that as well as they could. Because if you think back to the early ESPN days, like Micah was talking about, like those ESPN commercials with like the baseball stars, like McGuire, like Sosa, things like, and Sosa's actually an awful example because
right.
He in his court case he said he didn't speak English.
Right. But anyway, yeah, I mean, ever so slightly, maybe like 2%. It hurts a little bit.
I mean, I do think it hurts because a lot of American fans can't fully relate to the player because of, you like when they speak, you don't, but it's been like this for decades. I mean, you look at Orlando Cepeda,
Even Roberto
Clemente. And I mean, we've always had foreign players in the MLB, and it's not new. It's not like, oh yeah, all these star players don't speak English. Speak English. No, I mean it's always been that way, but it's never been a huge problem. Now, yes, like I said, from a marketability standpoint, yes, it is a little hard to sell a player who doesn't speak English, because you can't, like you said, you can't give them the commercials and stuff like that a lot of the other American players could do. Like you can put Mike Trout in a commercial and everybody, yeah, it's Mike Trout. But if they can't speak English, it's a little hard. Like Acuna doesn't speak English well, so but yeah, from a marketing standpoint, I get it, but I don't necessarily say it holds the game back. The game is great because of it's an international game, and because so many people can play this game and learn to play this game well in other countries. It's not like football where all the players, like 99%, 90+% of the players in the league are American, because we're the only place that truly plays it. So, it's unique in the fact that it is an international game. It's but nobody complains about soccer either.
Right.
Because it's that's part of the territory. So I don't think it hurts the game that much. It just hurts from a potential marketability. I think the problems, most of the but I think most of the marketability problems with the MLB come from just how traditional they are. Like they're very set in stone and old school in a lot of the ways they move, and they don't make updates to kind of modernize their games.
Right.
So
I agree with that, because I think that the international aspect actually helps the game in some senses, because with this Ohtani dude, he's created a lot of buzz around what he's been doing out here that wasn't there before that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I mean, when Ichiro was in the game, he was one of the most popular guys in the game. He didn't really speak English. I mean, I see Ronald Acuna jerseys everywhere. He don't speak no English.
Raul Mondesi.
Right. It's just, I see people rocking his jersey just because they see him. He got, he has the look, and people can relate to the look. So, and then you mentioned Mike Trout. It's like, I don't even really know what Mike Trout sounds like. Like, if you saw, like, not to be like prejudiced, if you saw 10 white guys walking down the street of similar height and build, you wouldn't be able to pick out which one Mike Trout was.
I just say him because he's he's just a prototypical Captain America looking dude.
Right.
And so you could, if you wanted to, you could put his face on a Wheaties box and sell it easily. But and he could do the so you're in detention. The Captain America speech from.
I saw the meme. It was like Mike Trout is the guy that they get to play Gronk in a biopic about Tom Brady. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it hurts the game. I think that anybody who's good, regardless of what language they speak, help the game. And I don't think you have to speak English to be marketed to an English audience, quite frankly. I mean, Tatis speaks English, but he's not American, and he's been in all those commercials, and you know what I mean. So it is what.
Wow. This is something I actually might want to show the chat or the people watching here. So I found a page on the ethnic makeup of MLB over a period of time. So in 1993, the MLB we'll start there, was about 17% Latino and about 17% African American. In 2017, the game was 27.4% Latino and 6.7% African American. So, and actually the next one includes white players. It actually started in like the 50s. Of course, the league was like 100% white. In the 70s, about 80. 90s, it keeps going down, and then 2000, it dips below 60% of the league. So it's just been going down constantly. I mean, there's an influx of Latin players in the league. It just has been.
One thing that would help the marketability of MLB, this is a discussion for another day, but to find a way to, get Black people back involved in the game, which, I mean, I understand in our community, the lack of fathers a lot of times in the households also contributes to, because baseball is a real methodical game that has to be passed on. You know what I mean? It's very rare that a kid will just pick up baseball by himself. You usually need a father there to really get them into it. So, but I mean, like I said, that's a conversation for another day.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, the funny thing is, I literally had this conversation earlier with one of my coworkers who grew up playing baseball, and the problem is, Lionel, when Lionel was still a part of it, we had this conversation and we talked about how expensive it is to play baseball at a competitive level and at a level to get noticed. Mm-hmm. So if you want it, like the camps, you got to pay for the camps and the travel ball and all those expenses. I mean, you're looking at minimum $10,000 a year just devoting to your kid.
That's if you just want to be like entry level.
Exactly. And so it's like, it became like to get to the majors in America, a lot of kids, like a lot of Black African American kids who grew up less fortunate, they're priced out of the game. I mean, it's just like, the parents can't afford to do everything they need to do to get them noticed. And now, granted, if they're well off, then yeah, like, or they know the right people, like, they play, like some of the kids who played at Redan might be cool with the Phillips family and, Brandon Phillips, and, they have facilities and they can work with people. But outside of that, I mean, good luck trying to compete with these kids who were literally playing East Cobb, traveling to, like, 2/3 of the year, playing travel ball 2/3 of the year, and getting the attention and stuff that you could never get just playing in your local rec leagues and at your high school.
Right. I also wonder how much scouting plays into that, because obviously a lot of these Latino American players or just Latino players don't have the financial resources that some of these white players do, but somehow the scouts still find them. So, like, is it a scouting issue as well? I don't know.
Well, if you notice, like, the African American players, like, there's a few, like Jazz Chisholm, like we were talking about, and Kyle Walker from the for the Mariners, and I can't remember the guy you're talking about. His name.
Dexter or something.
Dexter Fowler.
Dexter McCutcheon.
Like, if you notice, like, whoa, the arm that's just freaked out on me.
No, Andrew McCutcheon.
Andrew McCutcheon, yeah, that's the one. I knew that didn't sound right. Like, a lot of the Black players that are making it into the league nowadays, they get by on, like, their natural talents, like natural arm talents. They'll be like the guys who played quarterback, like Pat Mahomes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he could have been in the MLB.
Right. You look at these quarterbacks, like Russell Wilson. I think, damn it, I can't remember. Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray, yes.
Yeah, like, these guys have, like, these natural arm talents where they can just sling the ball, and they get by. They make it on that. And some of those kids get sponsored as well and picked up and coached and things like that. But
those three were also rich kids.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know about
Kyle. I think they became, like, sponsored kids because they had the talent. But
Pat was rich because his dad played in MLB.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I think Russell Wilson's dad was something, wasn't he? Wasn't he an NFL player or something?
I don't know. He might have. I think he was a coach.
Okay.
I don't know on that one yet. But
moving on.
Yeah, right. Harrison Wilson the fourth.
So also other big news, the MLB draft was this weekend. Braves did like a lot of us expected them to do. They went after a lot of pitching and a lot of versatile infield talent and a couple of outfield prospects. So I'm not going to name all 20 of the prospects. I'll just briefly kind of cover the top 10. The first pick was Ryan Cusick out of Wake Forest. He's a 6'6", 230-pound pitcher. And honestly, kind of reminds me of Randy Johnson. Kind of has a fairly low arm angle, but he's a fireballer. They said his average pitch was about 97.8 miles per hour, and he's hit 101 on a radar gun before. And he said he still thinks he can get better with his fastball.
That boy make that glove pop.
Yeah, yeah. But now granted, what we do with him, I'm not sure. I think Cusick wants to be a starter, but he only has two pitches. He has a fastball and a curveball, which it was a slider that he converted to a curveball, which is good. But at the same time, you can't be a starter with only two pitches. You're gonna need more. So he'll probably be like a longer middle reliever. The second pick was Spencer Schwellenbach, who he's a 6'1", 200-pound shortstop / relief pitcher out of Nebraska. Now, the guy has a very strong arm, and he looks to be a good shortstop prospect, but as a pitcher, he was the guy who Nebraska brought in to close, and he was very effective. They like his last year at Nebraska, they started to bring him in as a closer, and he was very effective as a closer. So the third pick was Dylan Dodd. He's a left-handed pitcher out of Southeast Missouri. Fourth pick was Cal Conley, a shortstop out of Texas Tech. Fifth pick was Luke Waddell, a shortstop out of Georgia Tech. The sixth pick is Justin Henry Malloy, third baseman out of Georgia Tech. Seventh pick, AJ Smith Shawver, he's a right-handed pitcher from a Texas high school. Tyler Collins was eighth. He's an outfielder out of a Texas high school. And then Liam McGill is a catcher out of Bryant. Those are just the first 9 of the draft picks. Like I said, there were 20 draft picks, and I'm not going through all of those. It'd take forever. But unfortunately, now on the Braves news, unfortunately, we got the worst news that we could have possibly received this year. Add more just insults, just more problems, more hurt, more pain to us as Atlanta Braves fans. Our young star, Ronald Acuna, went down with a torn ACL after trying to catch a highline drive from Marlins second baseman Jazz Chisholm. Now, in other news, the Marlins social media showed how classless they are as they headlined an article about Jazz Chisholm hits an inside the park home run, and on the headline they had a picture of Acuna laid on the ground grabbing his knee after the injury. I don't get what the hell is why Miami hates Acuna so much, but I will say this: fuck y'all. That is cowardly. That is a bitch move. That is not cool. Seriously, you do not disrespect an injured player. That just shows how classes. And there's a reason y'all don't have no fans. Y'all never have fans in the stands because even the Miami people don't respect your organization as they shouldn't.
And they steady try to. I mean, they hit him in 2 of the last 3 games they played. It's just ridiculous.
It's been years. They've been hitting them for years.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But it's even as recent as the day before they were hitting him.
Plunked him again, first pitch of the game.
And it's at this point, it's the MLB needs to. Obviously, they never do anything about anything. But
hey guys, stop doing that.
Right. It's I think they finally threw him, the pitcher, out of the game, and not that one, but maybe a week before.
Yeah. Well, the last one didn't get thrown out the game because it was a curveball. Mm-hmm. So and they gave him the excuse that it was just a curveball that got away. And Acuna was pissed. He didn't like it. So tempers flared. But
I'm surprised more people don't rush the mound and bat people's heads off.
Yeah, that's one of those unwritten rules.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean I'm gonna end it on that. Screw the Marlins social media, screw the front office, screw that whole organization.
Real quick about what we were just talking about. So Russell Wilson's dad. He played a preseason game with the Chargers, but didn't make the team. But luckily for him, he pursued law right after that, and he became an attorney.
But obviously an athlete. But obviously an athlete.
Yeah, he was an athlete. Yeah. And then Kyler's dad, he got drafted to play for the Brewers, but decided to go to college to Texas A&M. And then by the time he made it to the NFL, he had a knee injury. So he played for the Niners, but not for long, and then he played for the Calgary Stampede before retiring.
Gotcha.
He went the Canadian football route like our
Rock,
boy.
Rock. Oh, also Byron.
Yeah, good old Byron.
Byron Parker.
Shout out to Byron Parker.
Parker.
Real quick, shout out to me because I picked the home run derby champion.
Woo!
Pete Alonso.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
You really did.
I did.
Well, here's the
tire himself out.
Here is the hopes that both Pete Alonso and Juan Soto have slumps that last the rest of the season. So when we play them, they're just terrible.
Real quick before we get off that topic, like, who do we currently have filling in for Acuna, Micah?
What's his name? Adrianza or whatever.
Adrianza.
Yeah, Dave's just kind of. Well, they move Almonte to right field, and Adrianza has been playing left, I believe.
No, Adrianza's been playing right. We called up the Orlando Arcia guy last week.
Yeah,
who's been playing really well.
They hadn't necessarily put him in. Well, I mean, it's really been one game since Acuna got hurt. So yeah, it's.
Are we gonna look like? Have you heard anything about possible trades for us to fill that in, or are we just gonna roll young?
Not. Well, is the trade deadline passed?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, because I thought All Star Week was the trade deadline.
The trade deadline's I think in like 2 weeks, if I remember right. Yeah, July 31st.
Yeah, I mean, problem is like, you know, who are we looking to move? I mean,
we'd be looking to give up like a pick or like a young pitcher, but mainly picks we're looking for like a veteran presence. I heard when
can you trade picks in baseball?
Yeah. But I heard we were looking into Adam Eaton as a possible fill-in. Who
he's a little older,
right? He's like 33, I think, and you know hasn't quite been what he once was, and after his time there in the White Sox. But he was one of the names that popped up because he just got designated for assignment. So that came after I was reading about this, but we may be able to give something real cheap for him. But they just want a veteran out there because, I mean, you can't have two rookies on the corners of your outfield. Like, that ain't going to work.
Two really
NL's finally on the board, by the way. They just hit a solo home run.
Gotcha.
Oh, wow.
It makes it 2-1?
4-1 now.
4-1. Is Shohei still pitching?
What team does he play for?
He's playing American League. I doubt it.
Starter.
I doubt it. No, he's plays for the
he's not playing
Angels.
Oh yeah, obviously this guy's not Japanese. So
yeah, they are saying Charlie Morton might be trade bait now.
I mean, he came here in hopes to win something, and he's just a stopgap guy. Might as well.
Yeah, I mean he's pitched well for us though. That's the only downside. But yeah, I mean that's.
Do you think that as currently comprised, do the Braves have a chance to still make if our pitching comes around or we make a move for like a bullpen arm or two? Do you think we have what it takes to make the playoffs still?
Oh God, we're so banged up that I don't know if we could have enough offensive firepower. Even as hot as All Beast has been, and Freddie started playing a lot better in the last month or so. And Austin Riley's been still been solid. The problem is you lose too much from Acuna. Like Acuna set the tone a lot of times at the leadoff. So can the other guys who aren't stars, the guys who fill in, can they provide a fraction of the productivity that you lose with Acuna? Can they bat 280, 285 or so, and can they get on base and set up guys like Freddie Free and Albies to drive in some runs? If they can, then yeah, I think we could potentially sneak in the playoffs, but I don't see that happening consistently for the second half of the season.
Mark,
I
you
mean,
look like
at
you're
this
having a
point,
seizure over there.
I was saying at this point we would have to I don't think we're gonna get a wild card spot, so we'd have to win the division, right? Like,
I mean, there's still 80 games left. Plenty of time to turn your season around. Plenty of time.
and plenty of time for us to go play 500 ball again.
Right. At 82, if we go 82 and 82, you'd be around a wild card probably.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
But
I think this is the season for soul searching. We're gonna have to.
It's a good way to experiment with firing Snit, and
Definitely.
But the problem is, I think Snitker just bought some extra time because he just has a built-in excuse. He has two actually, with Acuna going out and not Freed, Soroka tearing his Achilles again.
But like, what's his name? Now, I mean, like, granted, Darno next month, Darno should be back. Enoa should be back as well next month.
Right. There's help on the horizon for sure.
If you can hold out and win a few games through and make it and just have a solid and stay just around 500, maybe slightly above 500 when you get out of the month of July and those guys come back, then you could potentially go, like, they could help you get on a run, because Travis d'Arnaud, like, while I like Contreras, Travis d'Arnaud is still the most reliable catcher we have right now, and dude can hit the cover off the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So
great fastball hitter.
What did you say? My internet went out when you. What did you say? Snit just bought what?
He
bought some extra time with two built-in excuses. No,
he didn't.
With
Soroka
Acuna and Soroka going down.
Well, the only thing is that this organization, I mean, like, even them hiring him in the first place, just goes to show that maybe his job is a lot safer than we would want it to be, just because they're so, like, traditional and so, like, in-house, and you know what I mean. But you'd think that hiring Double A would change that, but it's like it really hasn't.
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily knock the initial hiring of him, because when he took over the interim coach, he did a decent job.
I mean, he always does it,
and all the young players knew him.
Yeah, but no, I mean, but that's the thing. When an interim coach comes in and does a decent job, more often than not, the front office is like, all right, the players like him. He did a decent job with the team. Let's see if he can make that next step. Problem is, the problem is 3-4 years down the road, when they don't make that next step, then but look, I'm not even gonna go there, because that'd be a bad example. But yeah, it's just like I said, they gave him a chance. We went to it NLCS. The problem is we couldn't get over the hump, and now we've taken a step back. Now, granted, do you want to give him the excuse of injuries? Possibly, but I think he's mismanaged the team in other ways, unfortunately, though, too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the most baseball knowledge, but just based on hearing people talk about it, I mean, his decision making and watching it, like in that Dodger series,
suspect.
Yeah, like the St. Louis series a couple years back, the first Dodger series. There's just a lot of moves that he makes where he just sticks to his guns, and they cost us games.
He plays not to lose, is how he plays. Yeah. He doesn't play to win, or manage to win.
Right, it's like you need to march, like when he didn't start our dude who tore his Achilles in some of those games.
Soroka.
Like start Soroka. Like, what are you doing? Like, stop sticking to the script. Like, we need these wins. Like, but
I'm still tripping over that. When Duval went down in the playoffs last year, you decided to move Austin Riley to left field, knowing that was not a strong position for him defensively, and it hurt us. So yeah, I mean, you could have at least put Ender out there, and you lose something offensively, but you can gain defense from it. So
fire Snit. Hashtag fire Snit. Still hashtag fire Snit.
We like you, Snit, but you gotta go.
See you later. Get out.
And
Let's get on down to the Gritz Blitz, gentlemen. Let's talk some. Blue 42.
Blue 32.
Speaking of cadences, did y'all watch the match with Brady and?
I did. Or at least, I mean, until that was during our show, so I watched the first half of it. But
I absolutely did not.
Yeah.
And then the finals came on as well. So
there was some.
They were playing late.
Not so much watching it, but the content that has come out from it, like all the parts that weren't aired when the cameras were still rolling, between Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, man. Like you think you know a lot of football, and you think you see a lot of things in football, and then you hear these dudes talk about football, and you're like, what? Like, you noticed that? Like, you picked up on that? That's crazy. Like, and as often greats do, greats often do, they watch film of each other, and they pick up a lot of things from each other. It was really cool to hear them talk about things, and like Aaron Rodgers, like, hey, you used to do this, but now in this system, you've changed the way your stance is, and you're more of an open stance when you
right.
used to be.
I heard
back.
That.
Yeah, like
when he's saying he took that from him.
Yeah,
he was like, I got that from you.
Right, exactly, and it's like, damn, man, like these two guys are so good at this game. It's crazy. Like they are the.
Yeah.
That's why I put those guys, 1 and 2 and 2A. Well, Marco, I don't think you've been in Discord all day, but they asked me to do a
Tom
ranking.
Brady's like the unquestionable GOAT-minded athlete in history. Like, I mean, you can put Michael Jordan in there too, but just in terms of like just mental dominance at his age.
Mm-hmm.
And even now we're seeing like the little things he does on social media. Did you see him? He had like his 3 kids there, and he was like, all right, Amendola. He's like, all right, Wes Welker. He's like, all right. And he was throwing his kids open. He's like, all right, Edelman. He's funny, and he's just a freaking brute mentally. He's a brute.
He is. Like, and it sucks, like, because I want to hate him so bad. But the more I look at him, I'm like, man, I wish my quarterback was like that.
I wish Tom was on the Falcons.
Right.
I wish he picked our team. He was like, they're too trash to win a Super Bowl with. I'm not going there.
You said you want to hate him. I do.
I mean,
smug bastard.
I hate him on the field for sure. I absolutely hate him on the field.
I don't like his personality. I hate his stupid face.
But if like Matt Ryan was doing this for us, we would love it. Like, we would love it, bro.
Right. Like, I mean, I never hated Tom Brady until he took our souls, but
right.
I never liked him.
Is mine.
I never liked him. I never liked him.
You shouldn't suit us.
But yeah, that was really cool to watch. And just respect to greatness. Like, for those of y'all that hate players, like not you, Mike. I know why you hate him, but like people who like genuinely hate players and think they're not good just because they don't like them or they're like jealous that the other teams have them, man. Like, appreciate them while they're around, because there's gonna be a point where they're not. Like, we're not always gonna have some of the greats that we have. We're like, growing up in this area, you've been blessed with like some real crazy sports stuff.
I mean, shit, look, like the best quarterback in our era, like he didn't even know how to like read defenses until like last year.
Right. Like, I mean, the likelihood of anyone getting near Tom Brady's Super Bowl appearance record and Super Bowl wins record is like, he has more rings than teams do.
It's not happening. And I feel like it's almost like, I think we like to like put it there as if it's a possibility. Oh yeah, Pat Mahomes, he can't get in the discussion until he's not. Then there is no discussion because he's never gonna get close to.
It's gonna be Brady and then the discussion.
Right.
Like, it's just God. He might win another one with how stacked that team is and how he's still playing. We may be talking about Tom Brady, but by the end of his career, having like 9, 10 Super Bowls.
Right.
But he did hint not too long ago, if y'all didn't see that, he had hinted that he said the end is he can see it. The end is near. He's getting towards it. So I think he's getting he's satisfied with what he's done with his career. and that fire is burning a little low, and maybe his body's aching a little more than it used to. So I appreciate him while he's here, but
unless
hate him while he's on the field.
Unless he continues to pull like a Brett Favre and be like, I'm retiring. Then the last minute after training camp, yeah, I'm coming back one more season.
I just don't really like training camp.
Not really a hot take, but a bold prediction. I say, because obviously for various reasons, but Aaron Rodgers will beat the Buccaneers in the playoffs this year.
Well, honestly,
NFC Championship or
doesn't matter where. I'm not getting that specific. I'm just saying it's gonna happen.
They had a shot last year.
That's what I'm saying. But
Brady threw three picks in that game. He honestly gave them opportunities to win that game, and LaFleur pulled Kyle Shanahan and was just like, "Yeah, I don't want to win this game."
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Bold prediction. That's my bold prediction.
All right, put it in the books. Put it in the books, guys. Marco says Packers over Bucks. It's either going to, I mean, Bucks will probably a 1 or 2 seed, so that means Packers didn't do well.
Reading too much into it.
This is if it's not the NFC Championship game, Marco.
Take it at face value.
Okay, I will. See, my brain just starts going.
Did Aaron Rodgers say he was actually going to play this year, or did he was just?
Well, we'll get into that in a little bit.
Right, that's why it's a bold prediction because there's a lot of factors.
Well, we can get into it now because that's actually I've covered a lot of the part I did have from that. He did hint at he said the end is near as far as the holdout goes. He said it probably about a week or so he's going to start to get back into really working out, and he said we'll figure this thing out is what he said. So whether that means figure it out with the team and you come back in an amicable relationship, because he actually hasn't said anything to burn his bridges with the team. It's been the media and the team just making themselves look dumb. Aaron's been relatively quiet, except for little snippets like this. But, he's a very calculated person. Even on the field, the man's very calculated, and he's always very careful about what he says, and he means what he says. So I think he's going to come back and lead the Packers. I think he's looking around and hearing the rumors about trade rumors about what they're getting, offered for him and things like that. And he knows that they can't trade him away for those menial returns. So I think he knows he's going to be a Packer, and the love for the game is still there. So he'll come back and play with a good team. Is it a perfect team? No. Is it the Bucks? No. But it's a team you can certainly win with the right breaks, and that defense just got even better. So
defense got better, but did the offense stuff?
I mean, you still with Aaron Rodgers at the helm and Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones and whoever is at 2 and 3, whatever 6'4" receiver they have across the field from him,
whatever guy that we don't know their names that they throw out.
Marcavis Saint.
Aaron's the guy.
Equanimous, yeah.
Equanimous.
And then they got Geronimo still. I think he's still there.
Marquez Valdez, Scantling.
You could throw Rodgers on damn near like 2/3 of any team in the league, and they're gonna be in the contention.
Their number 2 and 3 receiver just got exponentially better.
You're right.
I mean, if he really wanted to be petty, he'd let them go into preseason with Jordan Love as their starting quarterback. And we're well,
Jordan Love has had a fantastic camp. If you haven't, I don't know if you've been paying attention.
Well, yeah, they've been talking about Mahomes. They've been doing Mahomes comparisons, which I take with a grain of salt because this goes back to our once in a generational type talent statements that so many players are quick, so many organizations are quick to throw out. This guy's a generational talent.
I'll take this with a brick of salt. How about
and Bryce, I don't know if Amari Rodgers is really built to be a number 2 receiver in the league. He might. It just depends on how they deploy him, but he's probably going to be more of a slot guy for them because they got so much size. If you push Amari Rodgers outside, none of those guys are really built to play in the slot. I would be absolutely shocked if we see him get the majority of snaps on the outside. Even though he has played at Clemson, it's just a different league. He's not big enough for that. So yeah, I think we kind of answered my questions I had about that. In other news, do you guys? I know we've talked about this show before. Do you guys, or have you seen an episode of Flying Coach yet? Which is Peter Schrager and Sean McVay's podcast that they have, and they interview NFL coaches.
Nope.
Well, they had a very special guest this last week by the name of Kyle Shannahan.
Oh.
And as any Atlanta Falcons fan would guess, you know a topic that came up at one point. And he was asked, do you regret any of the calls, or do you regret not calling more runs in the Super Bowl when up against the Patriots?
Let me guess what his answer was. Textbook narcissist. Of course I don't regret anything I've ever done in my entire life.
I actually heard that. I actually heard the quote.
So he went on to talk about, he said, of course, hindsight is 20/20. But I did make a play call to win the game, and sometimes I think back on that and I think, damn, I got in my feelings on it and I got too excited and I tried to end the game right there instead of methodically, milking it away, and so on and so forth. But he then followed that up by saying, or explaining why he called some of the plays he did and how some of them should have worked, in all honesty. And he broke down the play calling. He's like, we actually ran it more in the second half than we did in the first half. So there's that. And then first down, we ran it and they stuffed it. So we were 2nd and 10. And then I called a play and, we get I'm mixing up. Was it holding? No, holding. It was second down. We had to throw it away, or we took a sack. I forget which one it was. Third down, we actually called up an option route to Mo Sanu. So second down, he had called up. That was the play he called to win the game. He said he called up a play. He's like, you know what? Second down, they stuffed us on a run. I'm going to Julio here, and he's like, who in their right mind when you're trying to when it isn't going to Julio? So he's like, you know what? They haven't been able to stop him since. I'm going to Julio. And then just at that perfect time, the defense that the Patriots had called, which they hadn't called, takes away the play that he calls to Julio. And so Julio's like bracket covered. And so Matt Ryan goes, and then, the play doesn't happen. Then third down.
Is that when Free missed his block, or is this a different sequence?
No, this is a different sequence.
Okay.
So it's third down. He calls up the option play. It's a 5-yard catch by Mo Sanu, and then he gains 12 more yards after the catch. So it's like we're in great position, and then boom, holding call on Jake Matthews. It's now long, and then we wind up punting the ball away.
It was 2 holding calls by Jake Matthews.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but that still trips me out though. This Shannahan. Well, I was trying to end the game. Yeah. Running the ball ends the game as well.
What about all his regrets from his other gaffe in the Super Bowl?
Well, no, but
gaffes.
Here's another thing. The second half, the third quarter, Freeman barely played in the third quarter. Like, what's his name got most of the carries in the third quarter? Tevin Coleman, and until he got hurt, he hurt his knee. And then we brought Freeman back in. It was like, bruh, the first half, the difference maker in the first half was Freeman. They didn't have anybody to match up with him. So why didn't you come out in the third quarter with him?
Probably missed that block. Well, I think he missed that block because he was upset that he wasn't playing. He was disengaged.
Nah. Well, he missed the block because he didn't see the blitz coming.
Bro, mentally he wasn't there.
He was looking. He was like, if you actually go back and watch it in slow motion, he was looking to help the right tackle, and Hightower comes inside, and then when he finally looks in, sees Hightower, it was like, oh shit, and just he whiffed. So, like I said, he wasn't even looking for an inside blitz. He was looking to help out on the edge. I think he thought the blitz was coming off the edge, and it came up the middle. And at that point,
happened.
Yeah, it was just like, nope.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of plays in the second half where the Patriots just called the right defense, man.
Yeah.
Run the fucking ball.
We definitely didn't do what we should have done when we could have sealed the game. But what they did to get to that point was just nothing short of mastery. And he said one of the reasons that he tried to do that was because he knew if he gave the ball back to Brady, he said in that point of the second half, he was like 34 of 36 in his last 36 passes. So he was just like dicing us apart. And he was like, if I give him back to him, he's going to win the game. And the legend of Brady got into someone else's head.
And then when he did get it, he did throw an incomplete pass. We got a holding call that miraculously gave them the first down.
Yep.
Every
that was
time.
crazy. I hated that.
Yeah. It just everything went their way.
But at the same time, it's like you can't be like you don't want to give him the ball back and then give him the ball back.
Yeah.
But I mean that like him, there were before, like back then there were 3 quarterbacks that I never wanted to give the ball back with the lead. It was Brady, Breeze, and Rodgers. And though, of course, those guys, because if you give them the ball back with 30 seconds left and they're down a score, they'll figure out a way to get that score. And that was the thing, it's just
right. But even in that NFC Championship game, I was almost, because we had done that a lot that season where we built up big leads and then just stayed at a number, because Aaron Rodgers had a shot, but then we were able to withstand his comeback attempt, by damn near giving him a concussion. But
but it's blitz.
Yeah. So that's why. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, it hurts every time you hear a retelling of it. You're like, I get why you did that, but still, the answer is always this. And it just hurts every time.
No.
I mean,
Ryan's frozen.
No, I'm back now. I don't know what happened there.
Okay.
But yeah. But if you haven't, go ahead and listen to Flying Coach. It's such a good podcast, especially if you're a football fan and you like to hear the inside view from coaches. And like we were talking about with quarterbacks earlier and how they see the game. Man, coaches, it's a totally, it's a totally different level, especially with Sean McVay. Like he's a really good co-host and he's a really good just mind of the game. Like he's very smart. You don't become that good of an offensive coordinator by mistake. And he was, Mr. Georgia, like in high school, for what he did on the football field. He was a good player. So he knows what he's talking about. In other videos, because, it's the offseason for football, there's not a whole lot to report on as far as sightings or what players are doing. Most players are off, just taking it easy right now. They're getting rested up and doing their own little private workouts to get better and healed up from whatever plagued them last season, or improve in areas that they felt like they were weak in. This is when they do it. So you don't hear a whole lot right now. So you get to hear interviews from coaches and players, but that's about it. So Arthur Smith went on I think it was the Rich Eisen show. I just blanked on it. I'm pretty sure it's the Rich Eisen show. And he was asked the general questions about what's it like to take over this franchise, all the things that we've heard thus far. Him asked by reporters here, and what's the cap situation like, and blah 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 blah, and so on and so forth. And like nothing too much came out of that interview, but there was a part when he was asked about the team that really stood out to me, and it kind of gives us a glimpse into the way he and Fontenot are looking at this franchise. And I don't know if he meant to let this slip out, or if this is just how he feels and he doesn't care who knows it. But he had mentioned, when asked about taking over with an older Matt Ryan, or why you didn't draft a quarterback, because Justin Fields was there, and he gave the coachism. He's like, you got to draft the best player that fits, and what you expect a well-versed coach with the media is going to give you. But he gave the example. He's like, it's kind of like when Andy Reid took over the Chiefs. So he went in there, they had Alex Smith, and he was doing pretty good. But in order to fix that team, he had to put the places in there before he drafted Pat Mahomes. He's like, the right way to do it with quarterbacks is to get the pieces and then draft the quarterback. And so, if for those of you who don't remember, the Chiefs traded up for a quarterback to do that. So, we'll probably be an average to below average team next year with what we have, on there, unless he does like spectacular, unless these coaches absolutely change the type of performances that we've been getting out of the second and third level players that just haven't been performing up to snuff for us to be a good playoff team. Then I'm probably going to say we're going to be at or below 500 this season. So you're not going to lose, you're not going to have like 4 wins or 2 wins like we did this last year, unless, God forbid, someone gets hurt. But you're not going to be in a position to draft a quarterback there. And you're probably not going to be there the next year either when we still have Matt Ryan. So I think he's kind of saying like, hey, look, Atlanta Falcons fans, it's 2 more years of Matt Ryan. Then we're going to make our move. That's how we're going to do it. We're going to fill this roster with talent. We're going to keep some of the young guys here and develop them. And then we'll make the move at quarterback that I know a lot of y'all wanted. So it's kind of exciting. We'll probably get to ride out Matt Ryan's last couple of good years here. And then we're going to start, maybe something new. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. If y'all are just like, I don't want to do that. But like I've mentioned before, team building is one of my favorite things to do, and the involvement with football. I really love roster movement, and I love team building. How do you guys feel about that, about the possibility of seeing Matt for 2 more years, forgetting that the salary cap issues? Micah, how you feel?
The fact that you put that caveat on there, like I've already kind of pretty much come to the conclusion that Matt's going to be quarterback at least the next 2 years because of the salary cap issues. You can't get out of that contract until 2023, and it not like completely handcuff you salary cap wise. But personally, and I truly understand that. Like I understand what he's saying with you want to build a team around before, like you want to build the team up before you get the quarterback of the future. However, my thought process is, if Matt's the quarterback for 2 more years, you need to do like what the Chiefs did, and that's get a guy and groom him. I'd rather throw someone in there who's spent a year learning under Matt than just draft a rookie and throw him right in the fire. I don't care how good your team is. There's a learning curve, and there's gonna be growing pains, and you're gonna struggle. You might not have so if you don't win, like say we 500 the next 2 seasons, how long do you think the organization is going to give you to develop a rookie to the point where you can make the playoffs with them? So it's like, Arthur Smith it's almost like, I don't know if he's thinking long term or what, but like, bro, you might have 3-4 years tops to get this team back in contention before you're on that hot seat. So like I said, you need to start looking for the match replacement in the next draft potentially, and groom him. So once we're able to get out from under Matt's contract, you can believe like, okay, he at least somewhat knows what he's doing. He's done some work, and we know what type of player we have, and he's experienced the speed of the game at this level. So you have some baseline of knowing what you got as a potential starter once we move on from Matt.
Yeah, so I mean, with him saying that, I mean, that's a pretty revealing statement that he made there. But what people got to remember is that weren't the Chiefs like 11-5 the year before they drafted Pat Mahomes, or was that the year that Pat Mahomes was already on?
He took over. They were 2-14 when he took them over, and then
because what was it? Didn't Alex Smith have a really good season his last year there?
I think he had a decent season. Let's see. Chiefs record by year. You might be right, but for some reason.
Alex Smith had 2 good seasons with at quarterback.
So 2-14, yeah. They were 9-7 the year they drafted him.
Okay. So I mean, I could see that. I mean, the only thing is that the way I feel about Matt Ryan for the next 2 years is that I don't think. I mean, Spencer Rattler is probably going to be your first quarterback taken. The other guy
I was wrong year. 12-4.
Okay, that's what I thought. I remember they had a really good year and they just couldn't get over the hump. Yeah. But wait, so that was the year they drafted him, or the year he was already on the roster?
They
right?
went 12-4 and then drafted him. No,
okay.
10-6. 10-6 and drafted him. Yeah. The years, the way this site is listing the years is confusing. Yeah, 10-6.
Because they that first year they won, then they got the brakes beat off of them by was it the Titans or the Ravens or something? And then that next year they made it again. No, it was the Titans, because Derrick Henry ran all over them in the playoff game. And then the next year
we were at the Grove watching that.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, so I say all that just to say that obviously in his mind he's thinking that we're a 9-7, 10-6 team, unless he's projecting this out 2-3 years down the road. But I don't see that. But with in mind, if next year we're gonna hopefully maybe Grayson McCall, doesn't ring as many bells as I hope, and maybe we can get him and groom him under Matt. But besides him and Spencer, I don't really see any other guys who I would want over Matt at this point.
Who'd you say? Which one? Grayson
McCall from Coastal Carolina.
He's got pretty good arm talent.
Yeah, he's big. He has arm talent. He's mobile. And he's a winner.
Mentioned one. Sam Howell. Brock Vandergriff is going to be one. JT.
That's
no Brock Vandergriff for me.
Vandergriff's a true freshman, so it'll be years. Now, JT Daniels.
No.
I'm saying JT Daniels would be if you want a Georgia quarterback, JT Daniels is probably about the only one that's draftable.
I don't want a Georgia quarterback.
No.
No. Hey. I just say all that to say. I mean, obviously, Pat Mahomes is that generational talent. So it's very idealistic of him to think that way and be like, oh, well, you got to build it before you get the quarterback. But what are the chances that you find a good guy?
Boy from Clemson.
DJ
Ungule.
Yeah,
DJ.
Ungule.
Well, but here's the thing. You take your Marco loves to punch down at Baker Mayfield, but part of the reason Baker's had success in his time there is because they've built a very good team around Baker, and
one of the best rosters in the league.
He was there for that.
But no, I mean, but even when he took over as a rookie, they were a good roster. They had weapons on offense.
After taking 16 number 1 picks.
But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, eventually, even a bad team has to get good at a certain point. After drafting high, if you finally make enough of the right moves, like they said, they had a stacked roster. They just couldn't find anybody competent at the helm. And then Baker comes in and was competent.
And they're like, oh shit, we need to get a running game.
Okay, and then they had Chubb, but then they really invested in the running game, and now it's at the point where even if Baker's struggling, they have two running backs who can pretty much take all the pressure off of them, and then they have a great defense. So yeah, I mean I totally get what he's trying to do, because it's like, all right, you get a young quarterback, and if the team is good enough around him, there's less pressure to. I mean, hell, look at Case Keenum with the Vikings. Case Keenum went to an NFC Championship game with the Vikings because the team around him was so talented that it was literally no pressure on him to have to do much.
But my thing about that is that so if that's the proposed ideal situation, then I'm saying that in 2 years, do you think Matt Ryan's going to be that bad where he wouldn't be the beneficiary of that good team?
Yes, he is regressing. His arm talent is getting worse as he goes.
I'm just saying, but you just said Case Keenum was the beneficiary of a
Case
good team
Keenum,
around him. So if he's trying to build a good team, would Matt Ryan not be able to do the same thing that a rookie quarterback could do?
If his arm isn't good enough to make the throws, which we've started to see that it's starting to come. Like last year in that Chargers game, there were a bunch of throws that turned into picks that 2-3 years ago, those were easy completions. So if he keeps regressing at this rate, then 3 years down the line, he won't have enough arm. Not to mention the contract, the $40-something million contract.
And we said we weren't going to mention that.
But it's part of the equation. It's part of the equation,
here.
And it makes it hard. It makes it hard to keep the talent around when you have that number hovering over your team. So I mean, yeah, I'm just saying, at a certain point, I've kept it out of the conversation most of the time, but at a certain point, it's just like the regression is setting in. He, as much as our fans want to believe that he can do what Brady does and play into his 40s. Physically, I don't know if he has the arm talent and ability to play that long. So
I don't. I'll say though, I don't. Even though his arm strength has weakened, I don't think that it's like osteoporosis where it's gonna get worse and worse and worse. I think we're seeing the floor. Like I don't think he's just gonna be so much worse than he was last season, where it's like, oh my God, what was that?
Barring a traumatic injury, and the way sports science and training is nowadays, you don't see that traumatic drop off like you used to do. Like, I mean, they'll maintain their arm strength. They will certainly lose arm strength. Like Philip Rivers,
he's not going to look like Peyton Manning did in the Super Bowl.
Peyton Manning couldn't throw the ball because
I'm not saying that bad, but I could definitely see what Philip Rivers was last year for the Colts, and he was good. But it's like just certain throws.
He was broken down though. Matt's never broken down like that.
Broken down in what way?
Philip Rivers had injuries. Didn't he have some type of injury that
he had an ACL? He had an ACL early in his career, but for the most part, Philip Rivers has stayed healthy, just like Matt Ryan.
Didn't he have an ACL injury like his last year in San Diego?
No,
no, he played.
No, that was
all the games.
Yeah.
No, I mean Philip Rivers still had a good year last year, 24-11. Like I'd take that.
Yeah, but I mean,
at 38 from Matt.
Yeah, but 24-11 isn't necessarily carrying to the playoffs, and
took the Colts to the playoffs.
But you also they had Titans in that division. Then you had two of the worst teams in the conference in that division.
Yeah, but I mean,
two top
Phillip
3
Rivers
draft picks.
Receivers were nothing compared to what Matt has here.
Yeah, but I mean, at a certain point, you still got to get the ball to him. Like you could throw screens. Philip Rivers could throw screens all day with those guys, and they could get yards after the catch with their explosiveness. But
if Arthur Smith is what all the coaches around the league and all the like real football heads are saying about Arthur Smith, I think you're going to see quite the jump in Matt Ryan performance again. Just because, I mean, if he can do it with Tannehill, man, like Matt Ryan's far superior to Tannehill as far as a quarterback goes. Let's just be honest. Like Tannehill is more athletic. Yeah, he has a stronger arm for sure. But when it comes down to quarterbacking, Tannehill's not even in the same class as Matt Ryan. And if you say that, you're kidding yourself.
No, I'm not going to say mentally, but
he doesn't process the game anywhere near like an elite.
Yeah, well, mental is important, but I think people underestimate how important
bad Thomas Dimitroff was.
But
Dirk Cutter.
I think people underestimate how important the physical aspect
That's what I meant.
of playing
I don't know
quarterback is. And I mean, there's a lot of physicality as far as playing the quarterback. Like I said, that zip can make that a fraction of a second in zip on a pass can make the difference between a catch and an interception or a deflection. and that's all I'm saying. It's just like I said, if his arm continues, like I said, he might lose, 2 miles per hour on his throw, but that can make the difference between.
You saw Drew Brees last season. Like, he still managed to get to the second round of the playoffs despite having no arm.
And he looked no. Drew Brees only played like half the season.
True, but
Taysom Hill went 5-1 as a starter.
2 of those games were against us.
Yeah. But I'll say this. It's one of the. Any Given Sunday had a lot of corny parts to it, but that final speech, one second too slow, 1 second too fast, you don't catch it. It's just stuff like it's those minor things, those minor details make a huge difference, and that's the reason why I'm just like,
Would you say that Drew Brees' arm was weaker than Matt Ryan's will be, or like will Matt Ryan ever get to that level? Just real quick, yes or no?
Absolutely.
Wait, which side are we saying yes or no?
Are you saying Drew Brees' arm is weaker than what Matt Ryan's arm?
Yes.
Will ever be?
Last season it was for sure.
I think towards the end of last season it was weaker.
And maybe the season before that.
Like in Matt Ryan in 2 years, do you think he'll be that low or lower? No, or I don't think he'll ever get that low.
No, I think he will.
I mean, he's a bigger guy. Like, it's just
he's bigger.
Your physics.
Yeah, but I mean,
and plus Drew Brees was 41.
And Matt isn't a spring chicken.
Yeah, but come on, man. Like, 41-year-old, 5'11" Drew Brees. You think Matt Ryan's arm is ever going to get that weak? No. Like, come on.
Right.
Even at that, though, that weak arm last year, and only playing 9 games, Drew Brees still put up 24 and 6.
Right. He still did great things.
But that was a lot of scheme too. So
exactly my point. That's the whole point I was making. If Arthur Smith, your Matt Ryan hate is blinding you from the question that I'm posing.
It's not hate, and it's just realism. Like I said, he doesn't have a cannon. I don't care if he is.
Is it realism if you're saying that a 41-year-old Drew Brees' arm that is half this, like, solid 5 inches shorter than Matt Ryan, his arm strength is ever going to be that bad?
It could very well be that bad.
I don't think it's
and the
hate.
way I've seen the regression,
Maddie PTSD. I think that's what it's like you're imposing a lot of past failures on because
now granted, a lot of my opinion is based off, but you tried to put the caveat of money in there, but money
we didn't.
Caveat was for roster, not for.
But no, I mean money is a lot of my motivation and a lot of my criticism on just the NFL.
Wait,
money's not his fault though.
We got to a simple thing where we could basically go skill for skill, talent for talent. You can just be like, Drew Brees did great things for the last 3-4 years of his career with a weak ass arm.
Right.
And you think Matt Ryan's not going to be able to do that if you scheme him to it?
Could he possibly?
Oh my God.
But I mean, I'm sorry, I just don't see it.
I just don't like him. Just say it.
Right. I mean, at least point to something tangible. Be like, well, mentally, I don't think Matt Ryan will ever be a full-blooded winner. Say something that's tangible.
I've said that before. I've said it before. Like when you talk about quarterbacks who when the game is on the line, are going to ice the game. Matt Ryan is not one that comes to your mind. He's never been one. Now, granted,
right. So I would take that more than you saying, oh, his weak arm is going to be the reason. I'd be more so that, okay, well, Matt's never really been a clutch guy, so he'll never be where. Well, Drew Brees was never really that clutch either. He throw picks all the time.
He's second most in game-winning drives. I don't know about that, Marco.
Well, I mean,
he's one behind Peyton Manning on game-winning drives
with that weak arm.
But
down the stretch,
in the fourth quarter, yeah.
My thing is. And like I said, it's a combination. I've never really trusted I've never saw him overly clutch quarterback. When we needed him to get touchdowns, a lot of times we come up short. He doesn't have a cannon for an arm. He has regression has started to set in. He's getting older. He takes shots. He takes shots that he doesn't have to take because
a lot of
he
those
holds
tendencies that you're talking about are under bad offensive coordinators. When we saw him under a coordinator that I was saying, if Arthur Smith is of this level, you saw Matt do the right things, get rid of the ball quickly, throw it to the guy who was open, and make those right reads.
But I mean,
Matt Ryan's number 8 all time in game
with 38 game-winning drives.
Yeah, but I mean, if you legitimately look at those numbers, like 75% of those are before 2012. They've significantly reduced
the game-winning drives.
Yeah, the game-winning drives. And
that's
a lot of
we've had worse teams, like
and a lot of
and
a lot of those came against teams with losing records.
That's like saying, Trey wasn't a winner while Lloyd Pierce was our coach. It's like obviously they're gonna blow any lead they ever have.
but I mean, at the end of the day, like, and I've made this. Matter of fact, let's just move on because we're gonna be on this for. I'll literally go on this for all night because y'all aren't gonna agree with me. And I, it is what it is.
Yeah. Taylor said you're just a Matt Ryan hater. So, excuse me. In other quarterback news, just real quick here. Jay Cutler was interviewed the other day, and they were talking to him about CTE, and they were asking him if he is concerned about CTE. And he admitted that he has had up to 15 concussions during his playing time. And for a quarterback, I would not be shocked if a lot of the bad quarterbacks in the NFL, that's like about par, 15 concussions.
Good quarterbacks too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Brady has suffered a share.
Cam Newton's probably had like 50.
Cam is probably one of the most concussed quarterbacks of all time because the amount of the violence of hits.
I mean, it ruins it now. But can you guess who is the leading rushing touchdown haver in the league right now of active players?
I guess Matt Ryan.
I said rushing.
Oh, rushing. Oh, we're not talking about scrambling. It's Cam.
Yeah, rushing touchdowns. Yeah. He's the leader in rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean,
the league right now.
Years in Carolina were just insane.
Because Le'Veon's not currently signed to a team. Who else? What are the other ones? Frank Gore is not currently signed to a team.
And the Patriots last year just used him as a battering ram.
I mean, he had 11 rushing touchdowns last season?
Yeah, it's like we're starting to 5. Don't worry about throwing it, just run it.
They came out in monster formations and
quarterback draw.
Right, like 0 wide receivers and just quarterback.
I don't
draw
think
the gut.
Goal quarterback has ever been the active rushing touchdown leader in the league though.
Yeah. But so Jay Cutler was talking about some of the things he was doing and some of the things he's trying to do to really kick the can down the road as far as CTE goes, because he's seen all the developments. He's heard all the news about these players that had suffered massive amount of concussions, and really anything more than 2 concussions in your life is a lot for your brain. So he said he's trying to cut sugar. He's taking heavy amounts of fish oil. He's doing NADs, which in studies they've shown to delay the dying of the neurons in the brain. So it's just like a slowing down process. It doesn't stop it, just slows it down. It's kind of like the Alzheimer medications they found. They use that to slow the process down. There's nothing that can reverse it. There's nothing that can halt it completely yet, but it's just something that they found will help. He's doing the NADs through IVs, so it's more quickly absorbed. He's doing therapy and all types of things. And he said he's wise enough to know that he's damaged enough things and brain parts and heart that if he makes it to 80 years old, he'll be happy. When asked if he would still sign up and play football again, he said without hesitation. So
what do you mean if you went back?
Like if you could rewind the clock and hey, would you play football again?
Yeah, because he's rich as hell.
Right. I mean, it's hard to. I'm sure it's changed his life, for the better, and the generational wealth.
Well, but a lot of former players,
it's the competitor.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of them, like Kurt Warner said, he doesn't want his kids playing football. you got guys like Steve Young, whose career was ended by concussions. Joe Montana, same thing. So yeah, I mean, I would be interested to see how many they had in a career potentially.
Sure.
I mean, even Tom Brady didn't Giselle leak a couple seasons ago that he is like suffering from a lot of concussion related injuries.
What, really? That's surprising.
She had said something, and he it quickly got slapped the back of her hand, like cut it out.
He was still on the Patriots at that point.
Yeah. That's surprising to me though.
But yeah, like it sucks, man. Football's a violent sport. They're doing their best to prevent concussions, but you're never going to stop them when you've got people standing still and these giant helmets and 300-pound men and 250-pound men that can run 4 threes, running and driving you into the ground. Stop. You're going this direction at 17 miles per hour, and here comes someone at 18 miles per hour this way, and then you just go to 0 real quick. That brain's got to go, and that no matter how much padding you have.
They just need to turn the NFL into the NBA, where like the referees make the decision when the play is over. They're like, what the fuck? I was running all the way. Nope, he was about to tackle you. Blew the whistle.
I'll tell you like this, like, you know, it's a good thing that the NFL, you don't see the hits that you see in like the movies, those movie hits where everybody goes like airborne.
You mean in the 90s?
Like, what's his name? No, because you didn't even see those in the NFL. Like, because they're not real hits. Like, Varsity Blues was on the other day. Like legit, like the dude, like a defensive end dives, goes airborne, and then like comes down on top of the quarterback. Like, God, what? Like, dude, what are you trying out for the WWE or something? Off the top rope, elbow.
In reality, the quarterback would see you leave your feet and just be like, slide up. All right. But yeah, so the talk about Jay Cutler and Aaron Rodgers earlier and Brady leads me to my next discussion. And I was thinking about it the other day, and I talked about this before with the NBA. And really, you're seeing it here in the NFL as far as quarterbacks go. This is really a sweet spot in NFL history as far as talent across the board at the quarterback position goes. Now, you know, you look at guys who have like the bad names and the players that people are like, oh, he sucks. But, you know, in reality, they're really not that bad of a quarterback. And if you were to drop them in any other era, they'd be like, that's a pretty good quarterback, because most quarterbacks nowadays coming into the league, minus the long-standing guys like when Breeze just got out, Brady, Ryan's not really, an athlete, but a lot of the guys in the league are athletes now. Like even Nick Foles, like a backup quarterback, he was an elite level athlete, like way better than any of us would ever hope to be as far as athlete goes.
Player.
Yeah, he was a basketball player. He ran, you know, he had some speed to him. Then, you know, you throw in guys like Russell Wilson, you throw in Deshaun Watson, like Lamar Jackson. Like, people are like, Lamar Jackson sucks, but he runs like a 4.3, can throw the ball 65 yards in the air, and has an MVP season, but yet he sucks. Like, you know, it has like a 44 touchdown season. Last season, you know, I think had like 30, and then like another like 10 rushing touchdowns. Be like, he's garbage. Look at that running back at quarterback. And like, across the board, like if you go up and down the list, you've got talent on just about every NFL team. Like Derek Carr is not a bad quarterback. Like he's made some regressions with that team, but he's not a terrible quarterback. If you were to drop him on
mental with that guy.
Exactly.
He had the highest completion percentage on that one chart that we sent in the group chat.
Right. Like, I mean, the guy's got talent. He's got a cannon of an arm. He can move. He can make good reads and things like that.
He just doesn't throw downfield. He's scared to throw downfield and risk turning the ball over.
Doesn't win you games.
He got the yips as far as turning it over. Like, he's plays not to lose now.
And then it doesn't help. You got John Gruden acting like Lloyd Pearson. Man, I can't win with this guy. This guy's terrible.
Literally,
Peterman,
man,
come over here, Peterman.
Nathan Peterman, man, I might need you to come in and step up, man.
So what we're going to do real quick was we're going to just go down and name some of these quarterbacks that are the projected starters. I was going to go a little bit deeper on this initially, but we're running a little long here, so I'll just go through and name them. And then we're going to play a quick game in lieu of our lightning round. And I will be your host. You two guys will be the contestants. Mm-hmm. So we'll start with the Jets. You got Zach Wilson is your projected starter. Obviously, they spent their first-round pick on him. Then you switch it on over to the Panthers. Sam Darnold is the projected starter there. Another first-round pick, early first-round pick. The Bears' projected starter currently is Andy Dalton. You do have Justin Fields sitting right behind him, which is more than likely going to wind up being the starter there. So we'll see. But you've got Jameis Winston for the Saints, another first-round pick, Heisman winner. Daniel Jones for the Giants, another first-round pick. Daniel Jones is not as bad as we think he is. Drew Lock, now he may be as bad as we think he is for the Broncos.
He's the projected starter.
Yeah, he's the projected starter.
What's his name? Hadn't had a chance to learn the offense yet. Teddy.
Tua is your projected starter down for the Dolphins. Jalen Hurts for the Eagles. He can go either way. There. Carson Wentz, another first-round pick for the Colts. Jimmy Garoppolo. You know, we may be seeing a change there in the future as well for the 49ers. Trevor Lawrence, your most recent first-round pick for the Jaguars. Cam Newton for the Patriots. Could see a change there. Ryan Fitzpatrick for the Washington football team. Jared Goff for the Lions. I think this is going to be the telltale season for him on whether he's bad or if he's just about what we thought he was, which is about like
he's bad. He's
27 and 10.
This
will be the season. We'll see.
What was he a product of McVay's offense,
or was this last year a bad season and he was hurt?
No, he proved he's bad. After that Super Bowl game against Tom Brady, he proved he was bad.
Bruh, he could not figure out cover 4 to save his life.
What do I do with this? There's four people deep. Baker Mayfield for the Browns. We know what he's given us and see if he can put it together for a second year in a row. Kirk Cousins for the Vikings. Derek Carr for the Raiders. Ben Roethlisberger for the Steelers. Looks like he's probably on his way out pretty soon here. Matt Stafford for the Rams. Kyler Murray for the Cardinals. Ryan Tannehill for the Titans. And, we're going to see this is another season for him to see if he's going to produce like he did or if it was Arthur Smith. Hopefully we see Tannehill's numbers drop off tremendously despite getting, Julio Jones. And we realize that the only reason Tannehill did anything was because of Arthur Smith. That'd be a dream come true. Here, where are we at here? Justin Herbert for the Chargers had the best rookie season ever for a quarterback.
Really?
Yep. Joe Burrow for the Bengals, former Heisman winner.
He looked amazing
before he got hurt. Yeah, he was balling out. Matt Ryan for the Falcons, Lamar Jackson for the Ravens, Russell Westbrook for the Seahawks, Josh Allen, who just balled out in his second year for the Bills, Dak Prescott for the Cowboys, who knows how good he is. Yeah, maybe Deshaun Watson for the Texans. Let's hope he is out there playing. Tom Brady for the Bucks, Pat Mahomes for the Chiefs, and Aaron Rodgers for the Packers. So if you go down that list, you'd be hard pressed to find a guy and look at him and be like, he really sucks.
I heard like seven.
Seven that really sucks.
That probably shouldn't be starters.
Define sucks.
I don't say sucks. I just say they probably shouldn't be starters.
Okay. Well,
I find some that are mediocre at best.
Yeah, I mean, some are going to be your average quarterbacks, but none of them are going to be like terrible quarterbacks.
We don't know Zach Wilson yet. We don't know.
True. If they live up to potential.
Sam Darnold, the verdict's still out.
Sam Darnold's going to ball out this year.
I do know one thing. I think I could give Nathan Peterman a run for his money as a backup.
Is he even still on the Raiders?
Well, let's find out here, guys. Let's see how much you actually know about backups. So here's what we're about to do in lieu of our lightning round. And guys and gals that are listening, feel free to chime in the comment section. But we're going to play a little game called Who's My Backup? And let's see how well you actually know backup quarterbacks. The rules of the game will be I will ask a team. You guys will be able to chime in using your name. If you've listened to 92.9 The Game, listen to Andy and Randy's Jeopardy. They chime in with their name. It's a good way to do it. We don't have buzzards, so we will bite that a little bit. You will have 3 opportunities. If you absolutely don't know it, if you buzz in and you don't know it, you'll have 3 a game that you can use and kind of use either a phone a friend or like, elimination. I'll try and help you out or, give you a hint somehow. Or maybe someone in the comments. We'll give them about 10 seconds to help you out. Because I think we're only a couple seconds right behind Marco.
It's about 20, 30 seconds.
Oh, well, never mind. That won't work. So I'll try and give you a hint the best I can. So, you guys ready? You understand the rules?
Yep.
So, just as an example, I'm going to list the team. It's obviously not going to be a real question. I want one of you to chime in. Who is the backup point guard for the Suns?
I got it.
Marco.
There you go. Marco.
Cameron Payne.
Yep, there you go. You got to say your name, Micah.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to start it off with from the top of the list, how we did, or we'll go opposite order here. We'll go in the order that we went, and I will keep score right here.
Okay.
So, y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
The Green Bay Packers.
Marco. Jordan Love.
Correct. Let's do it this way. I'll keep it here so we both can see it. We'll give you 1. All right. Gentlemen, you ready for question number 2? The Chiefs.
Marco.
And
Any.
Chad Henne?
Yeah.
Correct. The Buccaneers.
Marco. Freaking
4, 3, 2,
Rosen.
1.
Micah.
Micah, chance to steal.
Bortles.
Incorrect, gentlemen.
Oh.
Blaine,
Wait.
Blaine Gabbert
Gabbert.
is the backup.
Blaine Gabbert's still in the
I
league?
couldn't remember. I couldn't remember if it was Gabbert or Bortles. I said
Right,
Bortles.
one of those
Did
two.
they
Those
take
two.
a quarterback?
Yeah.
They took Trash.
They did take Kyle Trask.
Yeah.
You are correct. So right now, currently, the score is Marco 2, Micah 0. The Texans.
Oh.
4, 3. Remember, you can chime in and use one of your 3 things if you'd like. 2.
Is there technically a backup considering
1.
they don't even know who's going to start?
Whoever is the starter.
If Deshaun Watson is to be the starter,
I couldn't even tell you. I don't
the
remember.
backup would be Tyrod Taylor.
Oh, that's
wow.
where Tyrod Taylor's at?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yup.
He's the
Since
starter.
when?
All right.
Did they just sign him this offseason?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the starter until he gets a lung deflated by their.
Hey man, Texans might start off hot then.
They're going to be 5-0.
Tyrod don't.
And they're
lose.
like, "Well, get out, Tyrod. We got someone else on the bench."
Stab him.
All right. The Dallas Cowboys.
Oh.
Now that Red Rocket's gone, I don't know.
4, 3, 2, 1. It's Garrett Gilbert. He actually played, guys.
I
remember that
couldn't.
game.
There were like 4 quarterbacks. I was about to say Ben DiNuccio, but I was like, no, that was the guy that was trash. Never mind.
Right.
Yeah, he didn't
I was
last
like, wait,
too long.
the Italian guy.
All right, let's move it to the Bills.
Marco. Not Jake Fromm. Who's the other white quarterback? Freaking guy from Trubisky.
Yes, correct. Way to swing it back around. I knew where you were going, and you remembered the last second. Wrong. Not that racist quarterback.
Yeah.
All right, so if one of y'all get this, I'm gonna be shocked. The Seattle Seahawks.
Micah. Geno Smith.
Yes, he got it.
He's back on the squad.
Yeah.
Where the hell did they find him at?
He's been his backup for past couple seasons.
Really? I guess they arrested the other guy, right? The other guy ended up in jail.
Right. All right, you ready? The Ravens.
Marco.
Micah RG3.
Ooh. Micah chimed in first, but was wrong.
I'm gonna go with
Three.
I don't know who the hell.
Two. Do you want to use one of your lifelines?
Yeah, lifeline.
All right. He played at Penn State.
Oh, son of a gun!
Freaking
I know his name.
With the mustache. Damn it.
And Mike, I would have gave you a chance to steal, but you'd already answered.
Yeah, Christian Hackenberg.
No.
Oh, the other one.
Trace McSorley.
Trace.
That's what I was thinking of. Trace.
Yeah.
A little shifty
Trace.
guy.
Good old Trace.
I couldn't think of his name.
Rippin will be mad at both of you. All right. Ready? Y'all better ready? This is about to be a shootout.
Let's do it.
Y'all got your hands on the trigger? The Falcons.
Marco.
Mike.
AJ McCarron.
Yep. Oh.
Felipe Franks.
All right, we're going to speed it up here because we're only a third of the way through. Joe Burrow. The Bengals. It's the Cincinnati Joe Burrows.
I don't even remember who
Micah, Lifeline.
Let me get this right because I always mix up where he went. He went to, I want to say Oklahoma, Arkansas. He's mobile, a little mobile. Played actually beat the Steelers.
Nah, I can't think of him.
Brandon Allen.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I was about to say Ryan Mallett until you said mobile. I was like, nope.
That's not right. Let me do this so y'all can actually see what the score is. We'll keep it here. There you go.
It's 3-1, right?
It's 4-1.
4-1. Okay.
There you go. So we'll keep the score there. The Chargers.
Marco.
Damn
it. No.
You still have two lifelines left.
It's not Blake Bortles. I don't know.
You want to use lifeline or you just want to give it away?
I'll give it away.
Micah?
Lifeline.
He played at Mizzou.
Oh,
very accurate. He was in New Orleans for quite some time as their backup, and then Chicago before that.
Chase Daniels.
Yep. All right, let's go to the Titans. If any of y'all get this, I will be absolutely shocked. Logan Woodside.
Who?
Yeah, no, I never heard of him.
One
He's
of
a creative player on Madden.
The Cardinals.
Oh God, I can't remember the dude's name.
Anybody? Colt McCoy.
Oh
wow,
He
they brought him. Nah, he didn't play with them last
He
year.
was in
I
the
forgot.
Giants last year, wasn't he?
Yeah. The Rams. Y'all should know.
Marco. Blake Bortles.
Incorrect. Micah?
Woodruff.
Very close, but not quite. Wofford.
Dadgummit.
Where the fuck is Blake Bortles?
All right, both of y'all are probably going to get this wrong. The Steelers.
Marco. Mason Rudolph.
Oh, you got it right. I thought y'all would have gone with Dwayne Haskins.
Hell no.
I don't know why they haven't given up on Mason Rudolph though.
Honestly.
I forgot Dwayne Haskins was even in Pittsburgh, honestly. I probably would have said him.
All right, the Raiders.
Micah. Marcus Mariota.
Correct. It's now a tie ball game, gentlemen, at 4 games.
No, Marco just got one, so he's 5-4.
Oh yeah, he did get. You're right. My bad, Marco. I'm trying to cheat you out here. Ouchia. The Vikings. Anybody? It is Kellen Mond.
Oh wow.
Well, they drafted
him.
And this guy just came up not too long ago. The Browns.
Micah. Case Keenum.
Correct. 5-5.
I didn't even know he was on that team, man. Still.
Ooh, this one.
Almost said Marco.
Marco.
I got this.
The Lions.
The backup on the King Lions.
Oh man.
Tim Boyle.
Yeah, because what's his name is pretty much a backup too.
Yeah.
Jared Goff's pretty much a backup.
The Washington football team.
Ooh.
Bryce has a
Micah.
man crush on his forearms.
Micah, Taylor Heineke.
Correct.
Yeah, how you gonna give the Bryce thing? I mean, he was gonna get that anyway, but you can't give hints.
No, I knew
Forearms?
I
I don't think Bryce has told that to anybody else except me.
I knew because I had a discussion about Washington being a potential sleeper in the East.
The Patriots.
Marco. Why can't I remember that dude's name? The Alabama quarterback, his name is.
You want to use a lifeline?
Yes.
Cam gave him a nickname.
Oh my God. I don't know why I cannot remember his name right now. His name is.
What was Cam's nickname for him?
Little weak ass boy. No.
Micah, would you like to steal?
Yes, I would. Mac Jones.
Mac
Correct.
Jones. Why can't I not remember his name? What's his nickname?
Mac and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
The Jaguars.
Micah.
Yes.
The stash. What's his name? God damn, I can't remember his name.
Minshew Mania.
Yeah, Gardner Minshew.
Gardner Minshew.
Was that 6'7"?
It is. Where are we at? The 49ers.
Marco.
Micah. Oh, go ahead.
Marco.
Marco.
Blake Bortles got to be somewhere.
Micah.
Mullen. Nick Mullen.
Negative. Trey Lance.
Oh yeah. God. How did I forget about
you
that?
idiots.
You idiots.
The Colts.
Marco. Jacoby Brissett.
Negative.
What?
Yeah, they let him go.
Jacoby
Where the hell
Brissett
is
is
he
the
at?
backup in Miami.
Well, you didn't say that yet, though. You just ruined it.
No, we've already passed Miami. Wait.
No, you didn't.
Oops. Well, there's a free one for both of y'all. Boonk.
Where the fuck is Blake Bortles
Boonk.
at?
Colts.
Where are we at?
Colt, you said Colts and he didn't get it. And
Yeah,
I
Micah,
don't,
would you like to steal?
I don't know.
Your Georgia fandom should be ashamed. Jacob Eason.
Oh. Did they just draft him?
No, they got him.
Last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they drafted
the
him.
prom
last year.
draft, the same prom draft.
The Colts. No, sorry, the Eagles. He was a topic of our chat today at some point in the Discord.
Didn't they draft a quarterback?
Anybody would like to chime in and go for a?
I'll get a Marco with lifeline me.
He holds the record for most touchdowns thrown in the postseason.
Oh, in the NFL's postseason?
2, 1. Give me an answer.
The guy who used to play for the Ravens.
Micah, would you like to steal?
Nick Foles.
Negative. The elite Joe Flacco.
What?
wow.
I was this whole time been trying to think of Joe Flacco's name. I couldn't think of Joe Flacco's
I
name.
let the Dolphins slip, so we'll go to the next one. The Broncos.
Oh, Micah. Teddy Roosevelt.
That's right. If y'all get this one, I'll be surprised. The Giants.
Oh man.
Can I even do it? Let's see. Can I make? I Can't even do it. 3, 2, 1.
Micah, Christian Hackenberg.
Negative. It's Mike Glennon. I was trying to stretch my neck out as long as I possibly could.
The Adam's apple.
The Saints.
Marco.
Micah.
I'll accept either answer here.
Wait.
No, like, well,
first
who's really listed on the? Yeah, Marco, you were right. Or first.
Taysom.
Yes. Really, it's
Jameis.
It's in the air. It's in the air right now.
You can't be wrong in that answer.
The Bears.
Micah. Justin Fields.
God damn it.
Yeah. All right. So currently it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
10 to 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Yeah, 10 to 7. Marco, you got to sweep these last 3. No, actually, Micah might have just won. We'll recount these here in a second. So Panthers.
Micah. PJ Daniels.
Incorrect. Marco, would you like to attempt to steal?
Damn.
You do have one lifeline left.
Damn! I remember his last name now.
Let me lifeline that bit.
He played in the Arena Football League, played at Rutgers,
Man, I don't know about none of that shit. PJ Washington.
PJ what?
Washington?
Incorrect. PJ Walker.
Walker. Yeah, that's it. It hit me as soon as I said Daniels. It's like, oh no, I remember his name now.
Micah, we are our last question, probably the toughest one of them all. Micah, you will be the winner of this game regardless of this answer. But the New York Jets backup quarterback is
Blake Bortles. Where the
Negative.
fuck is Blake Bortles at?
I think he's a third string.
Out of the
quarterback
league?
somewhere. Or he's out, yeah. I think he's the third string
In LA?
49ers.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Was it James Morgan?
Yes. How the hell did you know that?
Ha!
All right. So that would leave us with a score of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 11 to 8. So we knew 19 of the NFL starting quarterbacks, which is, obviously it's going to be 32 of them.
Backups.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Blake Bortles is
backups.
on the Packers.
The Packers.
He's third string on the Packers.
Boy, that's a man talk about a fall from grace.
He never had grace.
He was supposed to be the real deal coming out of UCF. But yeah, that pretty much does it for that. I realized I was on the Gritz Blitz that whole time. Let's take it back to this. But that concludes episode 61 for me, at least. Gentlemen, y'all got anything to say? Anything wise you would like to teach the world? Anybody you would like to shout out? Anything?
Oh, yeah. Conor McGregor, when he broke his leg in that UFC fight, then on the canvas proceeded to threaten to kill Poirier's wife and kids, our wife and him, like putting a gun to his head. Like, bro, like, you just sold your company. You're worth $700 million now. When you're in the ring, on the floor, looking ridiculous, threatening to kill the dude who just won. Like, come on, man. You probably should never fight again. Just go fight the Paul brothers right off into the sunset because you're done, bro.
Fight the Paul brothers. I mean, that would be a ton of money. And, I didn't even check the Paul brothers' Twitter after that. I'm sure they were going
Right.
ham. I'm sure they were going ham. So thanks for listening, guys. Like we mentioned earlier, join the Discord. It's pretty fun in there. Lots of good conversation going on so far. I'm sure it'll get more and more active. We'll start spamming some of these group chat or these communities to see if anybody wants to join and talk sports. Next week, tune in for our special guest, Josh Brooks, the athletic director of UGA. He will be on for an interview, which we will be going live a little bit earlier than normal for that to accommodate his schedule. I think we are scheduled to go at 6:30, if I'm not mistaken, or 7. I asked Micah. I don't remember what time it was, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's 6:30 is what time we'll be going live next week. If you don't have the ability to tune in, then you can always watch us on YouTube. We will be live streaming that, so you can find it just like you would anywhere else, or check us out on Instagram at Fish and Grits the Podcast. We'll put up highlights there. I'm sure we'll post something on Twitter about it as well. So you won't really have an excuse not to watch it. We'll get it to you somehow. Don't forget to like and subscribe. As always, I'm Ryan. Guys, you want to see yourselves out?
Peace, y'all.
Yeah, it's your boy Micah, and peace, people.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all later. Peace.
And if you like fish and grits and all that sports shit, everybody let me hear you say, oh, yay. Oh, yay.